If you'll bear with me while I get my systems over to Wi-Fi. I think I'm doing it right here and turn off the Bluetooth here. Um, just want to make sure I got everything right here. Looks like we're good. Okay, we are up and running. We got a tale of similar stories here. Now, President Trump, as you know, as you see on the monitor behind me, very common phrase from President Trump in regards to our system. He often states that the system is rigged. But we're going to ask that simple question is, do you agree with them? Is it indeed a rigged system for which we operate? Now, I'm going to give you a couple aspects of this. Obviously, we know the 2020 election is where Trump started saying everything was rigged. We're not here to talk about the 2020 election. If it comes up, we'll certainly tackle it, but that has nothing to do with what this live stream is about tonight. So we're not here to rehash the 2020 election at all, but you know, it comes up on every show just about. So what I want to talk to you right off the bat is last weekend, President Trump's job numbers came in. Now we're talking about a rigged system, and along with his job numbers, we had a very, very unhappy President Trump. So unhappy that he fired the, what do you call it, the Labor Statistics Commissioner. And he did state that the numbers were rigged. Now, I want to give you his actual quote that he posted on social media, if I can get my screens going simultaneously while talking to you. Here's what President Trump stated. In my opinion, today's job numbers were rigged in order to make Republicans and me, in capitals, look bad. Just like when we had 3 great days around the 2024 presidential election, and then those numbers were taken away on November 15, 2024. I think he means the 2020 election. That's what I think he means, because he won the 2024 election. Anyway, he says, right after the election, when the jobs numbers were massively revised downward, making a correction of over 810,000 jobs, a total scam. Jerome Too Late Powell is no better. But the good news is our country is doing great. Now, I want to talk to you in regards to rigging. That's going to be the theme of tonight's show. Now, President Trump, quickly, being unhappy with these numbers, took to, you've seen them all over the place, fired the...
Pick an exceptional new head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics. After he fired the former commissioner, the president disputed the jobs report that shows hiring slowing in July after fewer jobs created in May and June as well than the Bureau had originally reported. Senior White House correspondent Peter Ducey has an update for us live from the North Lawn. Hi, Peter.
Martha, good afternoon. President Trump believes there are statisticians sprinkled throughout the sprawling federal bureaucracy who are manipulating jobs data to make Democrats look good and to make him look bad.
If you remember, just before the election, this woman came out with these phenomenal numbers on Biden's economy. Phenomenal numbers. And then right after the election, they announced that those numbers were wrong. And that's what they did the other day. So it's a scam, in my opinion. My opinion is it's just additional scam.
Now, I want to tell you something right off the bat. Now, you heard him say the numbers changed right before the election and things like that. This is, and I see in the comments, Mitch said it should be a felony to alter the numbers. I'm with you, Mitch. However, you have to prove that the numbers were altered, and we haven't heard that from Trump yet. But if he can show proof that she did that, I'm totally with you that she should be held accountable. However, I want to bring some things to you folks in regards to what he just stated about the numbers and what he just stated about things being rigged. I want you to hear, I'm going to give you one clip and then we're going to go ahead and talk about it.
Last month saw 1/3 fewer Canadians visiting the U.S. by car compared to June of 2024 as Canada propels international tourism declines to an expected overall economic loss of $29 billion in 2025. Compared to June of 2024, the number of Canadians taking road trips into the U.S. fell by 33% last month, according to new data from Statistics Canada. This follows a 38% drop in May, and road trips are the primary means by which most Canadians visit the U.S. There was also a 22% decline in air travelers from Canada year over year. June was the sixth consecutive month of steep declines in inbound Canadian travel, including...
Now, why the hell am I talking about Canadian travel numbers to America? Well, fact is, all of the tourism numbers to folks coming to America from Europe, from Mexico, the visitation tourism numbers for America, Vegas is complaining, Disney World's complaining, the numbers are down. Why am I bringing that up? Because that amounts to jobs. Now, Trump is talking about the jobs numbers should be much better than what was released. I want to give you why I came into the tourism numbers. In addition to the tourism numbers, everyone from the agriculture industry to the automakers are complaining that the tariffs are hurting them. They're complaining that the tariffs are hurting them. They're complaining that they may have to raise the price of goods and services. Some smaller businesses have stated that they've went out of business. There's plenty of small businesses that are hurting significantly because of the tariffs. And that goes back a few months now. It's not right now. They've been hurting since he announced the tariffs. So in addition to tourism, in addition to jobs that are lost from tariffs, also, let's talk about the immigration issue. Whereas, now getting rid of illegal immigrants, that's not what we're going to talk about here because that is something that most Americans favor. However, when we talk about getting rid of TPS, temporary protected status, you're talking about the Cubans, you're talking about the Haitians, you're talking about the Venezuelans that were officially here legally under TPS status. Remember all the Haitian migrants in Springfield, Ohio that they claim were eating cats and dogs? Fact is, those Haitian migrants under TPS were legally here, legally employed. If you're legally here under TPS, if you're legally here with an asylum claim, you can legally get a job. So when he started deporting all the TPS folks and revoking all of the asylum claims, those are jobs lost. Most of them folks were working. That's more job loss. In addition to the tourism, in addition to the tariffs, now we're talking TPS, now we're talking asylum. And on top of all of that, let's go into the workings of Doge. By way of Elon Musk, the Trump administration has fired tens of thousands of federal employees in this country. You think they've all gotten a job since they got fired? Once again, we're talking about job losses because Trump is stating that the numbers are rigged. So when you think about how many jobs have been lost over all these industries, I'm going to ask you this. You've heard about a hell of a lot of folks being fired since Trump took office. USAID, you're firing people at the FAA, the NOAA. You're hearing nothing but people getting fired. I'm going to ask you this question. Have you heard of any hiring going on? Have you heard of any examples? They're having a firing craze. Have you heard of any industry under Trump since he's been in office for 7 months? Have you heard of any industry other than maybe ICE that has been on widespread hiring? I'm just asking you this question because why is it so shocking that his jobs numbers would be bad? He literally came in and proceeded to engage in a non-stop firing mission. Why would folks believe under all of the circumstances that I just named, from tourism to tariffs to TPS, asylum seekers, federal, why would you think the job numbers will be good? Have you heard of any industry? Now, he's promised there's going to be a hell of a lot of manufacturing brought back to the country. He's promised a lot of industries are going to come back. That could be true, but that hasn't happened yet. He's been in office for 7 months, and all of the response has been firings. There's been massive firings in many industries under President Trump. Why would he seem to think the job numbers should not be that bad with so many people being terminated? So we're going to certainly talk about this from an aspect of, do you think his numbers are really rigged? I want to hear from you folks. If they are, where do you think the hiring has come from? If his job numbers are nowhere near as bad as they say, I'd love to hear from you folks in regards to what industries you believe under Trump has had a massive hiring craze going on over the last 7 months or so. Maybe his numbers are rigged. I'd like to hear from you folks because all I've heard is people getting fired, which should lead to very poor job creation numbers. At least that's my opinion, but I want to hear yours. But continuing along the theme that the system is rigged. Now, you heard President Trump several years ago. This is literally when he came, this is his claim to fame in addition to fake news.
Just to finish up, you see what's happening? The process is rigged. This whole election is being rigged. These lies spread by the media without witnesses, without backup or anything else are poisoning the minds of the electorate. No witnesses, no backup, no anything else.
Now that's him in regards to that 2020 election, saying that back then things were rigged. We're talking about rigging elections. That's him saying that. Now I want you to hear Trump in far more modern times. This is probably a day or two old.
How many more seats do you want the Republicans to draw?
5.
And then what if California, New York, Illinois, and other blue states?
Yeah, well, that's okay too, but 5. I think we get 5. And there could be some other states. We're going to get another 3 or 4 or 5 in addition. Texas would be the biggest one. And
So
that'll
are you calling them for a complete redrawing of the congressional map?
No, just a very simple redrawing. We pick up 5 seats.
And where in Texas? How many more seats do you want the Republicans to draw?
5.
And then
So I want to ask you folks. Now you heard Trump in the first clip back from 2016 talking about the Democrats are rigging the election. How is this not rigging an election? This has nothing to do with how the people vote. They are literally redrawing the map so that he can get, he's able to predict ahead of time. He's able to predict ahead of time. I want 5 more seats. So they're actually gerrymandering the state to literally increase his victory by the exact margin he's claiming. How the hell is this not rigging the midterms? I brought this up because we're talking about the theme tonight is a rigged system. How can he possibly say, I want 5 seats and I want you to gerrymander your state to give me 5? How is this any different than find me 11,000 votes? How is this any different than that? What he is talking about doing is essentially taking the selection of our politicians out of the hands of the people and performing it in a way so that he gets 5 additional seats no matter what the people wants. How is that not rigging the election? Now, obviously, you're hearing California, New York, and Illinois, and some of the other larger liberal states suggest they may follow suit and do this, which would be rigging as revenge. But how is this right here, what Trump is suggesting, not rigging the midterms? I would love to hear from some of my beloved MAG on the show tonight to explain that, where you literally say, I want 5 more seats, draw up your maps to give me 5 more seats. They literally have drawn up the maps so that the few Democrats in the state are now running against each other to essentially create 5 new seats. How is that not rigging the election, rigging the midterms? I would love to hear from you folks in regards to that. Josh Vett says, debt collection industry is probably booming. That may be one industry. We asked what industry is doing massive amounts of hiring under President Trump, considering how many industries are firing every damn body. Debt collection, wow. So we're going to be talking about a rigged system tonight. Last but not least, and I do want to hear from you folks in regards to that whole midterm thing. I don't understand how that could be viewed any other way, coming from a man who's spoken out consistently about rigging elections. How is what he's doing not rigging the election? And notice you don't hear the right complaining about it at all. Is it a possibility that perhaps Trump supporters are not actually against rigging an election? It just has to work in their favor? I need to hear from some of you folks, particularly my beloved MAGA. Last but not least, and we'll start taking callers and certainly go into the comments. And by the way, am I on sub only? Let me make sure I'm turning it. We're not going to do a sub only program tonight. Tap the screen, by the way, get the likes on up. I'll go over this last one and then we'll make sure that we're not on sub only or anything like that. But last but not least, Ghislaine Maxwell is certainly still in the news. The whole Epstein thing is continuing on. And I just want to ask this question. With Trump going, I see that Debo says, is this live rigged? That's funny. With Trump going, taking Ghislaine Maxwell from maximum security all the way down to minimum security, officially aiding and comforting a known serial pedophile, why is there no outrage over that? Why do we just assume she's going to come with some juicy nuggets that is going to be worthy of upgrading her life to the significant manner that he has already done? He's given her a hell of a lot of aid and comfort. There's a huge difference between going from maximum security federal prison all the way down to minimum security. In fact, there are levels in between. She skipped all of those and went all the way down to a camp. Why is there no outrage from that? I mean, it would be different if she gave some juicy nuggets and testified, and then as a condition for testifying, she got moved down first. She got moved to a camp before saying any damn thing. How does that work? Not to mention, in addition to that, President Trump, when asked, is he going to pardon her, he didn't say no. And the reason I'm bringing that up is, why wouldn't the president flat out state, there's no damn way in hell I'm going to pardon somebody that has abused young children to that level? Why wouldn't he just say no? I'd like to hear from you. I mean, because is there anything she can say that's worthy of a full pardon? Why wouldn't he just say, hell no, there's no way that's going to happen? By the way, before we go ahead and start taking calls, he's been asked about pardoning P. Diddy again, and he stated during his campaign, P. Diddy said some bad things about him, so it makes it hard to pardon P. Diddy, which leads to an obvious comparison. You mean this woman has violated dozens of young girls, and you give her a consideration, you haven't thought about it yet, but all he did is have to say something bad about you during the campaign and he's ruled out? Does that make sense? That she's not ruled out despite some very heinous crimes, but this guy just spoke ill of you while you were running for president and you've disqualified him? Can somebody explain that? Anyhow, you know how the program is ran. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. Program is MAGA friendly, always have been, always will be MAGA friendly. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome on the program as well. Certainly tonight, MAGA is always my preferred guest, but certainly tonight, I want to hear about the question of how is this not a rigged system? If you can literally demand a certain amount of seats by gerrymandering districts, taking it out of the hands of the people, and literally gerrymandering the district so the people have no say-so, how is that not rigging the midterms? Somebody please let me know that, because that's all I'm hearing from that. I don't see that any other way. I want somebody to help correct me, shine the light on my eyes, and help me see what I don't see in that, because I'm here all the way in that. Anyhow, so looking in the comments, USA politicians and citizens showing they don't care about children or minors, says Chris. Well, I am very surprised. There is little to no outrage about President Trump greatly improving the life of Ghislaine Maxwell, who amounts to a serial pedophile. Convicted of that. It's not a maybe, it's not an allegation. She has actually been convicted of that. And he's greatly improved the quality of her life. And when asked would he pardon her, he didn't say no. How does that work? Looking at the defense can never win the presidency. Damn. I've heard that before. His wife may have something to do with that too. Why aren't the reps, Republicans and Democrats, asking Trump about the job rigging statement? What a shame. My guess is some people are. I mean, I assume if he's doing interviews. The problem with Trump, remember Ducey from Fox News? He would ask, what was her name? Karine St-Pierre, whatever her name is. He would get her with a whole bunch of gotcha questions. And, you know, you see people laugh at it and things like that the next day. But with, there's Ducey on the screen there. But with President Trump, if you ask him tough questions, you don't get to ask him questions again. That's the problem is with Trump, he is not playing fair about what the media normally does. If you ask him tough questions, he'll just ban you from attending press conferences. Kind of makes it so that the questions become slowly but surely softer and softer because people are afraid of asking tough questions, not to mention the ridicule you face for asking them questions as well, such as calling your question stupid, criticizing your network, etc., etc. So you're not going to get a bunch of gotcha questions in on Trump. The attacks are intimidating. If only that, they are intimidating in the least. So looking in the comments, there is absolutely no way to reach these MAGAs, no matter how much evidence you show. Well, hopefully the MAGAs can reach me. Let me go straight to tap the screen, get the lights on up to 10,000. We'll see if we can make this program tonight. Mike, good evening. Welcome to the show, Mike. Now, we're talking about the notion of things being rigged. How is this with the midterms not rigging that?
No, it's exactly that. It's the same way they've rigged other shit. It's the same. Their projection is their confession.
Explain.
Right? Every time they project that somebody's doing something, they're actually doing the thing. You can date that back. You can date that projection is their confession. You can date that all the way back to when he came down that golden escalator.
But
what he's doing right.
I mean, I get what you're saying. I mean, I can understand what you may be saying about Trump, but MAGA, and the Republicans do care about the Constitution. They say it all the time. They want free and fair elections. Why are they not speaking out against what Trump is doing?
Because their projection is their confession. They don't give a fuck about free and fair elections. They want what they want. Listen, you've been saying it. I've heard you say it. They talk about all these things are rigged and they have evidence, but they've never shown evidence about anything. Not once. Not once.
Yeah.
Now they're coming out and telling us, and Greg Abbott and the rest of them are being complicit in this lawlessness. And at a minimum, it's unethical, right? Because they're telling us why they're doing it.
Yeah, they're not even. Yeah, that's a good point. They're not even hiding it. I mean, the guy literally says, "I won 5 seats." I mean, they're not even hiding it. He's making it clear we're not gerrymandering the district because, we think some immigrants are moved over here or the black population is not as strong here, so we want districts that properly represent the people. No, he's coming out and saying, no, I want 5 fucking seats. So he's not even hiding it.
Not even hiding it. They don't care. And frankly, I think the Democrats are doing what they need to do at this point. I think they need to take the gloves off and go, okay, you want to do that there? We're going to do it in our blue states. We're going to do it in blue states, in blue counties, in blue cities where they can get more seats than what they're trying to gain.
But Mike, this could be concerning if the Democrats start doing some of the same things that Trump is doing from this nature. I'm just going to ask you an honest question. How long before this starts to fracture the country where we start having, I don't know, at the very least threats of secession? I mean, some states start saying, I don't want to be part of it.
100%, Tim. But again, how much longer do you have to sit back and just take them just imposing their will, digging into these archaic laws, creating new laws, creating new shit just to get an advantage to gerrymander publicly by getting 5 more seats so they don't lose in the midterms because they're afraid of the midterms. So they're moving everyone closer to unfortunately civil unrest or secession or whatever. But at the end of the day, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to just sit by and just watch, because they're telling us. I mean, Greg Abbott is sitting out there talking about he's issuing
arrest warrants. Yeah, he wants these.
Which is bullshit though, because he can't issue an arrest warrant because they haven't violated anything. All they can do is fine them by the structure that they put in place back in 2021. So I want you to be clear. That system of fining the Democrats, that's because they did the same thing in 2021. The Republicans put it in place. Now that the Democrats are like, okay, fine, we're not worried.
But let me ask you this. Fortunately for the Republicans and fortunately for the state of Texas, they can gerrymander fairly easy. Whereas in California, I think even in New York and Illinois, they have rules that they just can't do it as simple as Greg Abbott is doing it. So, I mean, they try if Gavin Newsom in California, for instance, or I can't think of the name of the governor in Illinois again. If they do this,
Pritzker.
Pritzker, yeah. If they do this, they're going to be met with the Republicans in their states. So you're going to have internal battles within each state too. Just like the Democrats are voting in Texas, there's a lot of Republicans in California. There's a lot of Republicans in upstate New York and downstate Illinois. So this is where I'm talking about secession, where the Republicans in the state start saying hell no, because they favor what Texas is doing, but they don't want their own state, which is liberal, to do the same thing.
Right, that's the racism, Tim. I mean, listen, people dance around it all they want. This is the racism. This is the fascism. This is the arrogance and the level of white privilege that exists in this country that everybody tells.
How do you tie this into white privilege, though? People, I mean, where's racism coming up? How do you tie this? I mean, I kind of get where you're going, but for folks that don't, I want you to explain, how are you tying what Texas is doing in regards to gerrymandering into white privilege or racism?
Well, because when you're changing districts to swing the voting constituents to your party only based on that. This is only based on, we're going to gerrymander this district so we can get those votes, so we can pick those two Democrats, which, and by the way, all of these candidates that are Democrat are black or Hispanic in Texas. Right?
Damn, really?
But
all of them?
Yeah. All of them.
Oh, God.
All of them.
So this one, Trump is known for saying I've done more for blacks than anybody since Abraham Lincoln. I guess that's being reversed then.
Yeah, well, of course. And again, if you don't believe what I'm saying, like Pizza Lover, and all they do is they call me racist because I call out the system that they created. And that as soon as the system starts to favor or even try to level out the playing field in the slightest, we're the racists. We're the ones pushing back because the minute we push back, we're violent.
Yeah, I see in the comments, Pizza Lover says, this guy and Gangsta Grandma are the most racist people out here. I would tell that individual, you can hear Mike and you can hear Gangsta Grandma, but you need to come on YouTube. It might be, you may have a difference of opinion. I get called monkeys and apes, and even the N-word comes up occasionally on YouTube. I don't block, ban, or censor anybody, but the N-word is one I kind of have to because the apps will take them down, but you need to come on YouTube. There's people that say a lot worse shit than what Mike is saying right now. But keep going.
Hey, Tim, have I ever been on your panel and have I ever called white folks out of their name? Have I ever just went after them other than calling out the racism or what's going on in the system?
Well, you got to understand, to a lot of white people, calling them racist is calling them out of their name. So, I mean, you don't need to call them anything else. If you say Trump is a racist, a lot of folks are going to suggest you've called him out of his name.
Right, but if I can substantiate why I say that, am I wrong?
But they don't agree with that, though.
Yeah, but again, agreeing with it doesn't make what I said wrong.
All right, fair enough.
You understand what I mean? And if you're in the comments, you're on the panel, and you think that if it doesn't apply, let it fly. But at the end of the day, when Trump stands up and does what he's doing and calls out these 5 seats, if Biden would have did that or Obama would have did that, they would have lost their shit.
Yeah, and the problem is this is where I think Trump could cause problems for us all politically in the future after he's long gone. You're going to have to stop future politicians from doing some of the stuff he's done, because I don't think people on the right would like what he's doing either. I mean, it's great when somebody's doing something in your favor, but when they're doing some of this stuff against you, everything from the insults on Twitter and stuff all the way up to gerrymandering districts, I don't think people on the right would be like, yeah, but we're tougher than you snowflakes. We don't mind. I don't see that. I think they would be really pissed off.
Well, of course they would, Tim. And here's the thing. This political climate was not like this before Trump came down that golden escalator. This political climate, not like this. No. This political climate has become so toxic because he is giving people the right to believe that it's okay, that it doesn't matter, and it does matter. everything he's saying, when you talk about that jobs report, for example, or when you talk about Jerome Powell, he hired Jerome Powell. He appointed Jerome Powell. It was everything is okay until it's not okay with him.
Yeah.
He wants total loyalty, but he gives you none. You can't say anything against him, and then all of a sudden it wasn't that good anyway. Teslas are a piece of shit. Wasn't that good anyway. You know,
Well, let's just be clear. I mean, Trump has something in common with all of us. He just takes it to an extreme. He doesn't like to hear bad news. He doesn't take bad news well. I don't think any of us like to hear bad news, but a lot of us won't go off and start insulting and calling the messenger all kinds of bad names. Trump look, bad news doesn't work well with him.
yeah, and then his supporters or people that like that and they champion it as a strength. It is the most glaring, mediocre weakness a person can have. If you can't deal with criticism,
I don't know if they like it and champion it as a strength. I think the reason why MAGA favors him going after people who give him bad news is because they believe what he is saying is that the bad news is rigged or fake or something. Like, for instance, he went after MAGA in regards to the Epstein files. He started saying you were dumb and you felt they didn't like that. So if they believe that he is wrong in saying that the evidence, like when he tried to say the Epstein list was a Democratic hoax and all, they didn't buy that. But generally, when he says something that's negative towards him is a hoax or it's fake or it's rigged, they do agree with that. That's why they're okay with him attacking the people that released it, because they believe that these folks are trying to slander him with fake and rigged information. It didn't work on Epstein for some reason, though.
yeah, I don't necessarily believe that, honestly. I believe that, and that's not, I mean, none of these takes are absolute, but I truly believe that there's a large portion of MAGA and there's a large part of his supporters that love the cruelty and the racism and the misogyny. I do. I mean, I believe that they enjoy it, and you can tell by how they respond to these things. When you get on YouTube, you're called monkeys and all these other derogatory every day, right, Tim? Every day.
Yeah. But that comes. But that I'm going to play devil's advocate and say both sides, because there's a hell of a lot of folks. Like just the other day, you know, the Hamas and Palestinian thing is all in the news. Israelis and people. A lot of people on the left do not like Israel right now. Well, the Hamas just released a photo or video of one of their captured hostages. And the guy is literally emaciated and starving, and they're making him dig his own grave. There's people on the left that are happy to see that, suggesting it's karma to the Israelis. I mean, some people like cruelty.
Well, and that's bullshit too.
Yeah.
Listen, anybody that's happy about it. Now again, I'm sure there are people that are quote unquote happy about it. That's a disturbing thing to me, no matter what.
Right.
I just had this debate the other day. I also understand when people say FAFO, you got what you asked for, and then unfortunately it has to be that subject, right? So, but again, Trump isn't giving people a lot of choices, Tim. That's the problem with all of this.
What do you mean by that? Explain.
Because Trump and his followers in the Trump administration and all the harm they're doing, they're lying to the American people daily, like literally daily, like the jobs report. He fired her because he didn't like it, but she did the same process she did when Biden was in office. There's always a reforecast of jobs. But let me ask you this, or I'll say this. Her reforecast of the jobs reports made more sense than the job report before it was reforecasted. Because it didn't make any fucking sense. It didn't make sense that we would have that much job growth with what the economy's been doing with the upset. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't get it. Trump has been on a massive firing spree since becoming president, and he's wondering why the job numbers are bad. I mean, I don't know any industry where he's been bragging about people getting hired. I mean, it's just federal government, it's tariffs, it's everywhere you look, the tourism is down, you're getting rid of legal working immigrants. I mean, everywhere you look, you're firing people. Like, why do you think your job numbers would be good? I don't understand why that's a surprise.
It makes no sense. And the funny thing is, that's why when I hear people come on these shows that support him and go, the economy is getting better in grocery, I'm like, you guys are full of shit. We have been slowly feeling this. And for people to say that everything has been copacetic by and large, that is so disingenuous because they have to continue their narrative, else it all falls apart. Now the numbers are starting to show that everything they've been saying has been bullshit, and now the numbers are fake. Right?
Well, you know, likely that the numbers are going to be viewed to be fake or rigged, as Trump would say. But I think the problem is a lot of folks are hesitant to believe what they hear in the media, because obviously we all believe the media is, they propagandize everything. And the problem is everybody believes this stuff is fake until they're actually victimized by it.
Right. And then the next thing there's. But here's the thing: we keep saying the media. Trump is the media. The White House propaganda machine is huge. Look at WhiteHouse.gov. That propaganda cultist shit they put out there every day is insane.
I mean, not to mention he also has Truth Social with tens of millions of followers. That is a media outlet. I mean, Truth Social, if he goes on Truth Social and says something that's not true, that's fake news. I mean, it's coming from the news. I mean, so he doesn't, I don't think a lot of MAGA realizes that Trump is a huge media outlet himself. So when they say you can't believe the media, you do realize he's the media too. I got to move it on. But
let me say this.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna end with this. You have to stop giving them so much credit. They know he's the media, Tim.
I don't think so.
No. They know. Yes, they do. You know why they know? Because they rely on those sources for their news. They know he's the media. They rely on X. They rely on True Social. They rely on Fox. They know he's the media. Stop saying that shit.
All right. I'm not for certain, Mike. I'm really not.
No. Listen, Tim. I've heard you on lives. I've heard you listen to these people. They know what it is. It's easier to accept and stay in the lane they're in than to admit that they've been bullshitted or wrong or lying the whole time. They know better than that, Tim. Listen, because here's the thing. If I'm wrong, then they are, and I don't typically say it, they are about as ignorant and as dumb and as stupid and as low educated as a lot of people say they are. And I stop short of classifying an entire group of people that aren't smart enough to apply common sense to these things. So I stop short until they prove me that I guess that person is. But they buy into it too much.
Right. Well, then I gotta get a MAGA view on his next, because I need to hear a counterpoint. Mike, thank you for coming through.
I'll be listening.
You don't sound too happy. The system is real quick in the comments. They're moving from California by the thousands every month. Do your research, please. That means California loses seats due to population drop and Texas gains seats due to population growth. That ain't what's happening, though, American police camps. That's not what's happening. The gerrymandering that President Trump is asking for them to do out there. And by the way, keep in mind, folks, when they do these, this is all tied into the census. This is supposed to happen every 10 years. So you adjust everything based on what my viewer is saying here, the population changes and things like that. That happens every 10 years. Trump is ordering them to do this early. The 10-year period has not expired yet. So he's asking them to do this early. So even though what you're saying is correct, that a lot of folks are leaving California and moving to Arizona and Texas and things like that, you still have to wait till the 10 years expire. He's having them do this early. So there's more to it than that. Not to mention the way he's gerrymandering it. You don't even hear President Trump talking about it's due to population. He's not even saying that himself. So while I appreciate what you're saying, that's not even what's coming out of President Trump's mouth. It has nothing to do with population. It's due with the fact that they're concerned that it might be a bit difficult to maintain the Congress. So they're going to gerrymander to make sure it happens. That's what he is actually saying. If it was due to a whole bunch of people leaving California, Trump would be the first to tell you that. He's not even saying that himself. He's coming out and saying, I just want to get 5 more seats. So that kind of blows out of the water what you were suggesting. But normally you would have a point.
Do you want the Republicans to draw 5? And then what if California, New York, Illinois, and other blue states?
Yeah, well, that's okay too, but 5. I think we get 5. and there could be some other states. We're going to get another 3 or 4 or 5 in addition. Texas would be the biggest one, and
So
that'll be fine.
are you calling in for a complete redrawing of the congressional map?
No, just a very simple redrawing. We pick up 5 seats.
Where in Texas?
See, he's not even talking about population. This has nothing to do with population moving to Texas. Nothing at all. He just said redraw the map so I'll win 5 seats. Looking in the comments, better than the last administration, though. Okay, we're not comparing Trump to Biden. If you think Trump is a better president than the last administration, that's fine. That's fine. We're talking about is what he doing. How is what he doing? How is what he is doing not rigging the midterms? This is the guy that we know from day one made statements like this.
Bishop, you see what's happening? The process is rigged. This whole election is being rigged. These lies spread by the media without witnesses,
So that's him describing the 2016 election, saying it was rigged. Well, how is he not doing that now? The way he is asking Texas Governor Abbott to redraw the districts, he's doing it in a manner that the people's votes don't necessarily matter. He's doing it in a way where he's going to be guaranteed to get 5 more votes or highly likely to get 5 more seats. He's taking the will of who they elect out of the people's hands, and they're just controlling it. How is that not rigging the election? Coming from the guy who says the elections are rigged. California is going to try and do the same thing that Texas is doing. We will see how Trump responds to that. He's not going to like it. He's not going to like it. He's saying right now it doesn't matter, but that's because California has to jump through some hurdles to do the same thing. But if California successfully navigates those hurdles and they start doing the same thing, this is not good for the nation. I'm just going to tell you folks that. Whether you lean right or left, taking the voting power out of the hands of the people and letting a politician control it just because you like the politician, it's not going to work well. Because there are going to be politicians that you despise that are going to do the same thing, and you're going to have to answer for why you didn't say nothing when your favorite politician did it. You think what Trump is doing right now is going to end with Trump? You think the next president, the next governor, you think they're not going to try this shit? He is literally opening up the door, opening up a Pandora's box, because they didn't wait 10 years. They're doing it earlier. If he can do it, that means other people can do it. You could literally make it so that states that lean blue have no chance of ever going red, and states that lean red will never have any chance of going blue again. Taking the power from the people and putting it in the hands of the politicians. Gangsta Grandma, good evening. Welcome to the program.
I really wish you would stop fucking fluffing. I swear to God.
The show just started. What the fuck?
These motherfuckers more credit than what the fuck they worth. They're trailer bum buckets. And then you have people that comment, oh my God, people's moving out of California. No, they're not. They're moving into California.
I don't believe that's true. I think the right has it correct. I think people are moving out of California.
No, Tim. Get his dick out your mouth, for real.
This ain't got nothing to do with Trump. This doesn't have shit to do with Trump.
Get the white man's weenie.
This doesn't have nothing to do with the white. You're making.
Tim, do you live in California?
No.
No, you do not. So shut the hell up.
You're playing the race card when it's not relevant here.
What the fuck does a race card got to do with it? You always be stuck on a white man.
Because we're talking about whether people are moving to or moving away from California, and all of a sudden you're talking about having a white man. This ain't got nothing.
Listen to this.
Okay, give me something relevant.
Listen to this, Riri. They do move out, but a lot of them move in. They move out and they move in. Our population has not even really changed like that. So what the fuck are you talking about? We are the 4th largest economy in the fucking world. We don't even have a lot of houses like that. Why do you think there's a house, whatchamacallit? So shut your ass up.
Okay, just
because don't know shit about fucking California. Keep California's name out your mouth unless you know what the fuck you're talking about.
I don't think.
And guess what? Let me tell you this. Guess what? When Texas does that shit, we got 9 seats to take. 9 seats.
Okay, now I'm fine with that part, but I think you're wrong on the California part. I really.
Yeah, you always think I'm fucking wrong, but you don't fucking push back on the fucking. Go fucking figure, because you like the uncooked protein in your fucking mouth.
Okay, now, oh my God, I want you to hear this. In fact, I'm hearing this for the first time too, but I want to listen to this with you, and then we'll talk about it on the other side.
In the span of 2 years, California's population has dropped by more than 500,000 people. Eyewitness News reporter Mark Cotarobas is live in studio with a look at why people are moving out of state. Mark.
Yeah, Leslie, there's a good chance you may know someone who left the state over the past 2 years. New data shows more than 500,000 people made that move. Those decisions fueled partly by the pandemic. That includes new opportunities for people to work from home. Also, the high cost of living here in California. Los Angeles is one of the top places people decided to leave, but the population shift isn't just a Southern California issue. People are leaving other big cities like San Francisco, New York City, Chicago, and Boston. While California's overall population has dropped, the Inland Empire is seeing some growth. But compared to the bargains that used to exist, living in the IE also isn't cheap.
Let's face it.
Okay, so what do you think about that?
That's not a lot. What the fuck are you tripping on, Tim? That's really not a fucking lot. See, the only reason why a lot of people move out because it's expensive. Okay, like my home is very expensive.
Isn't that
But who the fuck cares, bitch? Let me tell you something. See, that's why I can't stand you. That's why I can't stand you. Fucking white girl.
What did I do? What did I do this time?
You know it all, and you get these motherfuckers everything. You push back on me, but you will not push back on a fucking white man because you like his fucking cum in your fucking mouth.
Why do you keep talking about the white? This has nothing to do with the white man. What are you talking about?
It does, because the maggots are white, you dipshit. What the fuck are you talking about? Most of them are white.
So what about
they
the?
don't like your black ass, but you sure got their cum in your fucking mouth, and you're on your hands and knees for them. That's what you are. You allow a white man to disrespect a black woman. You allow everything to go fucking down. But oh my God, 400,000 people fucking left California, and you want to push back on it. You need to push back on the sorry-ass racist motherfuckers. How about that?
Okay, do you not realize that Trump won the Hispanic male vote, and there's a hell of a lot of blacks that voted for him too?
Because they're fucking cowards. They don't want a black woman in fucking office. How about that, Tim? Why don't you get down to the right shit? That's a broken record. You know that the Hispanic male, because they're fucking dipshits. They fucking want to be white so goddamn bad that they want the fucking white cum in their fucking mouth. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, there's
They
nothing.
want to be white so bad, like that Cubano that was on your live a few fucking days ago, right? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You know what? I don't want them to come in like I came fucking in. What the fuck is wrong with him? He wants to be white so goddamn fucking bad. He thinks the white man's gonna cover his fucking ugly ass, but they don't.
Do you?
But they're gonna fuck around and find out now because they're going after the Cubanos, they're going after all the motherfuckers that voted for him.
But I ask you this all the time, gangster. I ask you this every day. Do you realize that there are legitimate reasons to vote for Trump that have nothing to do with race? Do you realize that?
Are you that stupid?
No, I mean, this is a fact.
It really is. Now, let me tell you something. See, that's another reason I cannot stand you. It is all about fucking race. This is about race. And you're so goddamn fucking white. You think, oh, it's not about fucking race. It's not about fucking, yes, it was. All about fucking race. It wasn't about, oh my God, the eggs are fucking expensive. Oh my God, I gotta count cheese. Look at this white teeth fucking bitch. I gotta count cheese to put on my kids' sandwiches because it's so damn expensive. It wasn't all about that, because if it was, then we are in a fucking shithole, because guess what? The whole food prices are going through the goddamn fucking roof right now. So shut the fuck up. It was about fucking hate. They don't like our fucking black asses, and you're over here fucking cock sucking for them, and get cum all over your fucking face.
You think everybody that voted for Trump hates black people?
Tim, I swear to fucking God, yes! Even though Hispanic and black people. They like that fucking uncooked fucking shit up in their fucking mouth because they want to be white so goddamn fucking bad. This is all about fucking race. Everything this motherfucker has done is about fucking race.
I got people in my comments that are saying it's people like you that's why the Democrats can't win an election. They're saying that you're going overboard.
You know what? Time to kiss my fucking black ass. And it's a big one. It's not a flat one like a fucking white teeth bitches is, okay?
You realize that's racist, right?
I don't give a fuck. They racist towards us. You know what they call us? M-words. They call us the N-words. They call us anything for a fucking black woman. And you allowed a fucking white man called Michelle Obama a fucking man. So shut your fucking ass down somewhere.
How is what you're doing any different than what you're complaining about?
I don't say anything bad about it.
You know what? What?
Because I like my saltine. They're called rich because they are fucking rich. And let me tell you something. I call them fucking burnt ass mayonnaise because they are. Because you know why? Because they come for us. They voted for hate, Tim. They voted for hate. Everything that this administration has done, they voted for hate. They're going after the poor people, okay?
You realize how many...
Why are they going after the fucking poor people?
You realize how many MAGA...
Why are they going after the colleges, Tim?
You realize how many... Oh, hold on. Let me get in here and have a conversation with you. You realize how many folks that identify as MAGA that are struggling and working hard and are poor themselves. So when you say they're going after the poorer people, MAGA don't even agree with you on that.
Really?
I'm
The
just
red
saying.
states are fucking broke. You dipshit. They all broke. They depend. Louisiana, Mississippi, Oklahoma, West Virginia. They depend on food stamps. California don't.
You
We
serious?
pay them, you dipshit. Our taxes go to them so they can fucking eat.
Well, now...
You know what they did? You know what they did? They voted for hate. They voted because you know why? They don't want black and brown people here. Why do you don't think they don't not deporting the white man? They're not. They're only deporting the black and brown.
And you think all of the thousands of black MAGA are just dumb or something?
Yep, the mama smoked crack and knocked him in the head a few times, yep.
Oh my God.
They want to be white. They like the master. They like the uncooked sausage in their mouth, dripping from the uncooked protein. That's what they are. They are house ninjas. Yes, master. Yes, master. That's what they are.
Now
Just like you.
in the comments, you got a comment aimed at you. Ed G says Granny is always talking shit about MAGA. Lion got mad that she got fact checked by the video I just played. I think he's talking about. Hold on there. But wait.
People's in California? Do you know how many people in California? You know how many people moved into California?
That wasn't.
It evens out.
That ain't what that is not what that newscaster said. It's not evening out. They're losing people.
Whatever. I'm glad we're losing people. At least we have some shit. You feel what I'm saying? Who whoop the fucking do? We're the fourth largest economy in the world. We're still running this fucking goddamn country. And what? You want a fucking cookie?
Well, he continues by saying that you are a bullshit liar making up things. So now you just insulted.
No, let me tell you this, all right? If I'm a bullshit liar, then why is every goddamn thing that's coming up is all about hate? About the colleges. Why is he going after colleges? So they won't teach nothing, right? They want your kids to be stupid and dum-dums, just like the fucking Republicans are, right? They're taking scholarships, they're cutting them in half, so your kids won't be fucking doctors, you dipshit. They don't want black doctors here. They don't want Hispanic doctors here. No. They think that the black and brown people are fucking stupid.
Do you have any evidence whatsoever to suggest that MAGA does not want minority doctors here? What are you basing that on?
You dipshit! What the fuck they just did to the big, beautiful bill? He just cut it in half.
Did he not appoint? Did he not appoint one of the nation's top doctors to his own cabinet last time around, Ben Carson? He actually put
Ben Carson was for fucking HUD.
But he was.
Oh my God, I can't deal with you. Why would you put a brain surgeon in Hood?
I can't.
Are you stupid? Are you stupid, Tim?
No.
Are you fucking stupid? Like, are you slow, Tim? That's why they walk all over you, because you're fucking mentally slow, Tim. I swear, guys, that protein really get into your head. Because why would you put a brain surgeon? And he didn't do nothing for it.
I'm just simply.
But let me tell you something. My daughter's going to Stanford, okay? One of the best of the best, okay? And you know what? They cut their fucking loans in half. They didn't want them to become a neurosurgeon, because you know how much neurosurgeons, what their things are.
But wait a minute. Do you have evidence that Trump is specifically targeting people of color? Why are you calling him a racist? What is he doing to target people of color?
The loans, Tim. The fucking loans. He's cutting them. He is cutting them.
But how do you?
I can't deal with you. I cannot deal with you. I can't fucking deal with you. You're stupid. Tim, don't come on a platform if you're stupid.
I'm going to ask you again. Where is your evidence that him cutting loans is only loans for people of color? Are any of the white recipients that may need this money being affected as well, or is it only affecting minorities?
It's mostly the Hispanic and black ones. And they said it it was all over the news. It's affecting them. They had it all over. Don't you? Oh my God! Don't you fucking? You know what, Tim? I swear to God. I swear to God. I swear to God. Hey, go Google. Google is fucking free, bitch. Go Google. Google is fucking free.
Okay. The problem is, Gangsta Grandma, is that you're claiming that Trump is targeting minorities, but there are plenty of whites. Everything from the tariffs to the deportations. There are plenty of white people that are saying his policies are affecting them too. I'm asking, where are you getting that he's some kind of racist?
Yeah, they're going to get affected too. But he's targeting. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying they're not going to get affected, you get fuck.
I'm not
saying they're not going to get affected. But he's targeting us. Everything. Oh, Medicaid expansion, right? A lot of black people was on it. They're going to get turned the fuck off. They're going to get shut down.
Wait, hold on.
It's coming after us.
Okay, Medicaid.
They think they're not, but they are.
Let's take your comment about Medicaid. In a country with over 360 million people where blacks only represent about 13% of the population, if you go after Medicaid, how are you going to tell me that mostly it's going to be black people?
Are you fucking serious?
I'm asking a question.
A lot of black people are on Obamacare, you dipshit.
Is there not a lot of white people?
I don't care. Hold on. I can't fucking stand your little white teeth looking ass. You fucking maggot.
What?
Really on your fucking ass.
I think here's what I think I'm hearing. You're only noticing the pain that may affect black people because you don't seem to care about whites. But fact is, Trump's policies are going to affect whites and blacks equally. There's going to be plenty of whites affected by it.
No. It's not going to hurt them as much. Well, food stamps they might, because you know what a lot of red states do on food stamps. Fuck around and find out, bitches, you ain't gonna have your fucking pork chops no more. But anyways, I was saying the Obamacare shit. Yes, it's going to affect a lot of black people. It is. The student loans. The student loans affecting black people. No, I'm not fucking.
And you don't think the student loans are going to affect a lot of low income white people as well?
Not really. Well, somewhat. The poorest, yeah, the poorest. But they categorize black people as being poor. What is that when you go to get that Pale Grad stuff? They're doing that. They're taking that shit down. You don't think that's not affecting us?
I'm not denying.
Every fucking thing they're doing is they're coming for us, Tim. They are. And if you fucking think I'm joking, watch what happens. They are. They already said it. The Pell Grants. A lot of black students are on Pell Grants. I'm so glad people think I'm on SSDI. Bitch, you can't afford my fucking home, bitch.
All right, Gangsta, I do got to move it on.
Let me tell you something.
Real quick.
You gotta stop the shit. You gotta stop it. You wanna come and fight me every goddamn fucking time I come on here. You want to push back on several of my fucking points, but you won't push back on the fucking white team, man. Especially when they went after fucking Michelle Obama and called her a fucking man. You went all past that because you were fucking scary ass. Remember, you came for a black fucking woman, and you allow all this shit to happen. You allow them to speak all this fuck nonsense, not facts. But when I speak facts, you push the fuck back. What kind of shit is that? You're weak.
Okay, I'll leave it at that. Gangsta Grandma, appreciate you coming through.
I promise you, Tim, I promise you. You don't fucking push back tonight, I shit you not. When I come on next time, you think I'm bad now? I'm gonna raise holy fucking hell. So if you think I'm bad now, honey, I'm gonna smoke a blunt this day next damn time.
Okay. Appreciate you coming through, Gangsta Grandma. Always welcome in. Thank you. By the way, folks, when we say we don't block, ban, or censor, Gangsta Grandma always represents the best example of that. We are MAGA friendly. Make no mistake about it. The program is MAGA friendly. MAGA are my preferred guests. We tend to get more liberals, but MAGA are my preferred guests. We don't block, ban, or censor any damn body on this program. So if you do favor free speech, I'm going to ask right now, did you feel... Go ahead and feel confident that this is what you're going to hear. Follow the program if you're watching right now on Clapper, if you're watching on TikTok. Give your boy a sub if you happen to be watching on YouTube. We go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. This is an uncensored programming. So you're going to hear opinions from all sides of the aisle. And if, like I said, if you enjoy uncensored programming, this is where you should enjoy being. Looking in the comments, Mr. Realistic says Tim is the Black Joe Rogan. Oh shit. The man is patient, respectful, and keeps the audience and callers engaged. I like that, Mr. Realistic, and thank you for your support. Appreciate the accolade. It can be challenging at times, but I do enjoy hearing from all of you folks. I'm not a know-it-all. I don't have all the answers. I don't think anyone watching has all the answers. Nevertheless, that is why I believe that if we all can get together and exchange opinions, perhaps we can learn a little bit and share some ideas. Now, real quick before I move on to the next guest, tap the screen, get the likes on up to 30,000, THOU. Helps out the algorithm, brings in more MAGA. You know how the program is read. Tap the screen. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to smash that like button. In regards to my last guest, she said, she was a little angry about me pushing back on some of her comments. You know, why you push back on me and not other people? I just want to say that's probably one of my most hostile guests I get on the show, which kind of surprises me that she's wondering why I push back. I can say hello, and she literally is hostile from the moment of hello. Okay, you're going to get some pushback. That's what happens when you're a hostile. You'll see the court programs, permission to treat as a hostile witness. I mean, she's hostile. So you're going to get some pushback. I mean, she started out protein, and you're sucking dick and all. Hey, look, it's going to happen. Anyway, looking in the comments, we look up to the Americans, or we used to. Now we're on thin ice. Yeah, if you're not in this country, I do believe the time for looking up to Americans is probably coming to an end. I would highly advise our allied nations to have backup plans, whether it is depending on the U.S. to come to your aid if another country fucks with you, whether it is depending on the U.S. dollar to be the leading currency, whether it is depending on the U.S. to come to your aid if you have a natural disaster. I would highly advise other westernized free world nations to invest in a backup plan where you purchase your weapons, where you purchase your military ordnance, how you get your intelligence, all of that. At this time, I think it is safe to say any of our you should have a backup plan. Anybody, I get some folks who watch the show from other countries. Certainly some of because all of my shows are rerun or they're placed on YouTube, so you can watch them, after they're filmed live. People do watch them and comment. So that is my humble opinion. The United States has led the world for probably 70 plus years since World War II. We've been the world leader. We still are the world leader. But I think there's been enough evidence to suggest that there could be times of desperation or turmoil where you cannot necessarily depend on the U.S. to come to your aid. I think we've shown that really, really vibrantly well over the last year or so. I think we've really shown that. So in my opinion, you should have a backup plan. You just never know. I think Taiwan is starting to feel that way because they're concerned that China may attack them. I think a lot of our NATO allies in Eastern Europe saw what happened with the Ukraine. A backup plan might be necessary. Anyway, looking in the comments, you can't make this shit up. Listening to a Republic talk about morality is so rich. You got to watch this show a little bit more there. Inya, I think that says. Europe just bought $750 billion in weapons. Yeah, they did. And here's the problem. There's already rumors that we have kill switches in our F-35s. I think India turned those jets down. India decided to cancel that purchase, and they're going to do some internal, start constructing weapons internally. We don't give you every damn thing. And when you're purchasing high technology vehicles like, fighter jets and things like that, all of that shit is code and computer programming in it. You don't know what we've hidden in that for some of our nations that may be on the edge of potentially going rogue, or maybe we had something in the, programmed in there just in case in the future. Remember, we sold a whole bunch of jets, F-14s to Iran back in the 70s. We're now enemies with Iran. So it would make sense to program, the F-14s back then didn't have computer codes in them like they do now, but you can put that shit into the programming. So that if something happens and you're going to war with this nation, you fly over with some type of electronic aircraft and literally reprogram all the aircraft so they don't start. I mean, I know I'm speculating here, but I'm just simply saying the time for solely depending on the U.S., we probably should have a backup plan. Let me go back to the box, tap the screen, get the lights on up to about 35,000, if you will. We'll go straight to Sherbert. Good evening, Sherbert. I just got hammered. Tell me you're gonna have a lighter conversation with me. Jesus
lighter
Christ.
in a different way. I'm not gonna scream, but I'll probably be just as deranged.
Okay, what am I getting wrong to make you deranged?
I mean, you be fluffing a little bit, but that's half of it is really just you being a good host.
Thank you. Well,
so you gotta be able to play the devil's advocate, but then it makes you the devil. It's like, fuck this devil.
Well, I don't want to be viewed as the devil, but I'm going to go right into what we're talking about in regards to the program. If Trump is demanding that the state of Texas basically gerrymander their votes, redistrict their votes before the 10-year census, how is that not rigging the election?
Oh, it's 100% rigging. And Greg Abbott should be hit by another tree and break his neck instead of the middle of his back.
Now, Greg Abbott is already paralyzed from the legs, from the waist down. You're wishing bad happens to the governor of Texas.
Yeah, I live in Texas, and he should be able to push his wheelchair with a straw instead of his hands.
What do you want, Christopher Reeve? Damn. Or what was the other guy? He was a very intelligent guy, used to do that, and he just died not long ago. What the hell was that guy's name?
Stephen Hawking?
Yeah. Is that what you're hoping for?
Yeah, let him talk with a fucking computer screen.
Oh my God, Sherbert.
But, Tim, you can't pretend to be the good guys when you're doing clearly illegal shit. I mean, there's questionable things. Well, that's a little fucked up. But to completely redraw the maps halfway through the census,
yeah.
If you understand the system, it's retarded. If you don't understand the system, yeah, let's go, let's win the race. And no, we have systems for a reason. We have a constitution for a reason. We don't fuck around like that. And if you want to cheat the game, starts the war.
And that's what I was kind of indicating when I was talking to Mike, is that if Texas does this, and it looks like by all means they're going to end up doing this, and then Gavin Newsom follows suit in California, and the governor of Illinois and the governor of New York does it. I mean, you're going to have a lot of pissed off people in each one of these states. You're going to start literally separating the parties. I mean, this is kind of the groundwork for secession and really dividing the nation, because what Trump is demanding Texas Governor Abbott do is take the voting power away from the people and give it to the politicians so that he can decide how many seats he wants.
Well, Tim, there's an interesting aspect to this that I haven't heard anyone else speak about. With how hard they're going against California and with the ICE raids and just locking up anybody and everybody, all of the parliamentary, blah, 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 all of the rules that would keep California from redistricting are going to go out the window because they're just going to vote straight out to make this happen. Because once the rules have become invalid, we're not going to play by the rules anymore. And I don't think they understand that. It's a delicate game, and we've been very strict about it for the last 200 years because it's a delicate game. And now they're just throwing, shooting it with a shotgun and like, well, I'm not going to play on the whole field board. I'm going to, fight back. Yeah. And so, it's Republicans are being so retarded that they don't understand that actions have consequences.
I guess where I'm going to push back on you like I was with the last caller. I don't believe Republicans are being retarded. I think that they're just focused on winning to the point where, we'll do anything to win. Okay, if it is, somewhat outside of the law, or if it looks kind of, suspect, so be it. The Democrats do shaky shit all the time. That's how they kind of view it. The Democrats stole the 2016 election. I mean, I get what you're saying, but this is what the belief is. Perception is reality. Well, they stole the 2016 election, so what's so bad about what Trump is doing? That's kind of where we're at with this.
So it makes me think of snowflakes, and when Biden called the MAGA deplorables, or whoever said that, and they absolutely lost their fucking minds for like 3 weeks. Oh, how would he ever say that against the American people? And then Trump calls us a third world country, and then makes us a third world country once he gets into office. No, the gloves are off at this point, Tim. I'm not going to play by the rules anymore. If they're going to say, fuck it, we can arrest anybody for no reason.
Wow. Well, I guess to some degree, at what point do liberal states start pushing back against the federal government? I mean, if you're going to come in this state and make bullshit arrests, I'm going to order my deputies or my state police to, hang out on the highway and not let you in the state, block you off at the state line. I mean, this is where we could potentially be headed.
Yeah, probably.
You're for that?
No, but we're probably heading that way.
Wow.
I'm not for a lot of this shit, Tim, but I have to play within the game that I've already been set into from birth. And if they want to change up all the rules, then there probably isn't any rules anymore, is there?
There are rules, but you are talking about it in the right direction. While there are rules, there's no rule that doesn't appear to be negotiable. I mean, Trump is literally telling judges fuck off. So even if you lose in court, so what? I don't think you have the right to. You hear about you hear about all of these African Americans get pulled over by police and they don't want to follow order. Trump is doing that on a court level. I mean, like a guy gets pulled over. Well, you don't have the right to stop me. You don't have the right to make me get out of my car. Trump is saying you don't have the right to make that ruling. I mean, he's literally doing the same thing at the judicial level. I mean, he's ignoring rulings and pushing back against judges because at the end of the day, who's going to enforce it?
The thing that drives me absolutely the craziest is that I heard somebody else say this, and it really resonated, was all of MAGA doesn't see what Trump does as wrong. They just want to win. And so when he, strips away the systems that help people, when he strips away the systems that give people protection against being arrested for no reason, but they're smashing the libs, fuck them. And then they just don't see any, moral issues with the shit he does. When there's literally a 20-minute compilation of somebody going fast of all the different scandals and bullshit that Trump does and is going on with, they don't see it as wrong.
I don't think
so. Wait. Why am I holding myself back when they don't see anything as wrong? I don't care what they say anymore when they are willing to put Ghislaine Maxwell in a minimum security prison when she's a proven child pedo.
I don't.
Here? I'm not going to play nice anymore. Fuck them.
Yeah, I for the life of me, I don't understand why MAGA is not outraged by that. I mean, you got a woman, as you say, that's a convicted child pedo, basically a serial pedo, and Trump has greatly aided her life and made her life considerably better by taking her from a full maximum security all the way down to a minimum security, skipping every level in between. And MAGA doesn't seem to have a whole lot of outrage. I mean, there's a few of them, I guess, that are not happy about it, but They're more outraged if you let somebody out of Alligator Alcatraz or you let them out of Seacott. But letting somebody who has abused what amounts to probably dozens of underage girls, they're totally okay with it. They don't have a big problem with it. I mean, they would, like I said, they would complain more if you let somebody who entered the country illegally and that was their only crime. They would be more upset that you let them out of Alcatraz than letting her with all those convictions out of maximum security. I don't understand that.
I don't want to be a Rush Limbaugh. I don't want to be the people that just say ridiculous shit. But they're proving themselves to be quite evil. And so I'm fighting with myself not to just fall into the, well, red means bad and blue means good. But they're doing evil shit like letting Ghislaine Maxwell out. Or taking people off of Medicaid, or USAID, where they've already killed, I think, 8 million. I don't know the numbers.
Well, here's the pushback. Here's the pushback. When you say they're taking people off Medicaid, the MAGA side of the aisle is going to say they're not taking anybody off Medicaid. They're just adding work requirements to it. When you talk about USAID, they're going to say that, look, it's not America's job to take care of the whole damn world. I mean, we've taken care of people via USAID for decades. When is other wealthy nations going to step up? How do you respond to something like that?
Because everyone should understand what a loss leader is. If you understand business, even in the slightest, which I don't know perfectly, but companies will sell things at a loss to bring them into business to sell even more shit.
Okay.
We give aid to the rest of the world as a loss leader so that we get the best minds into our colleges, into our tech companies, into building up everything. We help the world, so we're good people. And if MAGA says they're good people, they can fuck right off because they're killing people. But we do all these things to create our standard and our morals across the world. If they don't care about our morals across the world, then we don't have a leg up on literally anything anymore.
All right, and I do believe that history will judge us on what we've done with USAID. Even though I do understand folks are concerned about our tax dollars consistently going to USAID.
No, they're not. They're not concerned about our tax dollars at all. Because they raised the deficit again when they wouldn't shut up about lowering the deficit. They can fuck all the way off, Tim.
All right. All right, Sherbert, I do got to move it on.
Have a good night.
You too. Always a
fluffing.
Oh, my God. See ya. All right, moving on with the program. Handsome Comic says, Trump ain't shit. Trump ain't shit, Tim. You need to have some backbone, Gangsta Grandma, and listen to the person you're talking to now. Sherbert knows the ways of the force. All right, I gotta get some MAGA on the program. I need to hear the other side, since everybody thinks what I'm doing is wrong here. But I do see the potential to make the accusation that Trump is rigging the midterms. I do clearly see that. But I want to continue on real quick. In the comments real quick, Handsome Comic says, Republicans are crossing the line when they're trying to throw Democrats and people in jail. Congress could really do some dangerous things to Trump, but that ain't gonna happen as long as Congress is mostly Republican. That's not gonna happen. They're gonna back up what Trump is doing. I think we've seen that over and over again. So that's not likely to happen unless somehow, some way, Trump does not win in the midterms. However, one thing I also brought up before I go on to the next caller, by the way, tap the screen, get us on up to about 40,000. Right at 30, get us up to about 40,000. Tap the screen, get the likes up. If you enjoy civilized dialogue from all sides of the aisle, congratulations, you are in the right place. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. We've always been MAGA friendly. We always shall remain MAGA friendly. Nevertheless, as you can tell, liberals are welcome on the program as well. We go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. If you enjoy this type of conversation from all sides of the aisle, feel free to follow the program. If you happen to be watching on TikTok or Clapper tonight, and if you're watching on YouTube, give your boy a sub. Sherbert, don't fall for it. It's a cult. Stay yellow. What do you mean by yellow, Handsome Comic? Now, in addition to us discussing the notion that President Trump is trying to somehow, some way rig the midterms. I mention this also because, you know, the whole theme of tonight's show is it's rigged, and not just the election.
Month saw 1/3 fewer Canadians visiting the U.S. by car compared to June of 2024, as Canada propels international tourism declines to an expected overall economic loss of $29 billion in 2025. Compared to June of 2024, the number of Canadians taking road trips into the U.S. fell by 33% last month, according to new data from Statistics Canada. This follows a 38% drop in May, and road trips are the primary means by which most Canadians visit the U.S. There was also a 22% decline in air travelers from Canada year over year.
Now, the only reason why I'm playing this Canadian travel, if you saw at the beginning of the program, is to suggest that the tourism to America is down. Canada is one of our biggest tourists. Dincal, appreciate the underwater Carol. Thank you, Dincal. Canada represents one of our biggest countries that comes here for tourism because they can just drive here and they do have plenty of money being a first world country. But Mexicans come here, tour the country, and so does Europeans. We're down across the board. Europeans, Canadians, and Mexicans are not coming to America. Whether it is the threat of making Canada the 51st state, threatening their sovereignty, they don't want shit to do with America. The way we're treating some of the European countries via tariffs and saying a lot of bad things about them. A lot of the European countries, not to mention threatening the sovereignty of Greenland as well. And then, of course, we know what's happening south of the border. A lot of them nations, the ones that may have a few bucks to come here, they don't want to come here either. So across the board, tourism is down. Less tourism equals less money. Less money equals people start getting fired. We're talking about Vegas. We're talking about Disney World. We're talking about tourism, state parks, you name it. We're losing jobs because of the reduction in tourism. Now, you're going to hear what I'm tying this into. In addition to tourism, everybody from agriculture to the automakers are complaining that the tariffs are costing them a ton of money. And this is when Trump started out back on April 1st talking about Liberation Day. Now, some of the bigger businesses can kind of move with Trump's wavering tariff promises and suspensions, but some small businesses have already went under because of the volatility of the market with Trump promising these big tariffs and how the stock market performs the next day. So the tariffs are also costing jobs. As I just stated, every industry from agriculture to auto manufacturers are claiming that they're hurting because of these tariffs. Next, we're talking his immigration policies. Now, we're not talking about illegal immigrants. Everybody wants illegal immigrants out. Even a hell of a lot of Democrats voted for Trump to secure the border. So illegal immigrants, particularly rapists and murderers, very popular promise from President Trump. But as we all can agree, he's went way beyond that. Getting rid of TPS, closing all of the, or better yet, revoking all of the claims for asylum. Keep in mind, if you're here under TPS, temporary protected status, if you're here as an asylum seeker, they give you work rights. You can actually work legally in America. You're not working under the table. You can legally work. Remember the Haitian migrants in Springfield, the ones that were eating cats and dogs? They were legally working there. So if you get rid of the TPS status, that's going to lead to all these folks losing their jobs. That affects his job numbers, just like the tourism, just like the tariffs are affecting his job numbers. And then, of course, we've seen what has happened over the last 7 months in terms of federal employees. By way of Elon Musk and Doge, the Trump administration has fired tens of thousands of federal employees. I'm going to ask this question that I asked earlier. When Trump stated, when the Labor Statistics Commissioner gave him a dismal performance in terms of jobs, he stated that his job numbers were rigged and he fired the commissioner. The question I'm going to ask you folks is, considering that Trump has been on nothing short of a firing spree since becoming president, why is it a surprise that his job numbers are so low? Why would anybody think those numbers are rigged? Have you heard of any industry at all since Trump has taken office that has been on a hiring spree? There's a whole lot of them that's been on a firing spree. Where are any of the jobs? Now, listen, he's promising to bring manufacturing back and things like that via the tariffs. That could happen, but that hasn't happened. So far in his first 7 months, it's just been nothing but terminations all over the damn place. So why would it be such a surprise that his job numbers, the job performance is terrible? Why would anybody believe that the numbers are rigged? Have you seen anything out of the Trump administration via his first 7 months to lead you to believe a bunch of jobs are being created? I would sure like to know in what industry, other than maybe ICE, where else are the jobs? So I do want to talk to you folks about whether or not his job numbers are rigged in your opinion. Looking in the comments, TKO Pahoo says MAGA champions against government interference in everything except for women's pregnancy, women's sports, sexual preference, education, immigration. Laugh my ass off. Social construct control from top down. And that is inaccurate. I think that's an accurate statement, is that everybody on the right, they're talking about small government until Trump uses big government to do something they like, such as what he lists here in regards to women, whether they can have, pro-choice, pro-life rights, protecting women's sports. What happened to leaving all this stuff up to the states? All of a sudden, you're using the federal government, even up to and including threatening to block a deal for the Washington Commanders if they don't go back to the name Washington Redskins. Why are you using the power of the president to demand a sports team pick the name of your choosing? I thought we were for small government. Ain't none of that small government. So I do agree with what you're saying there, TKO. That is certainly a technical knockout. Let me go back to the box, tap the screen, get us on up to 40 thou. Help out with the likes there. Denkel. Is Gen X in there? Good evening. Denkel, good evening. Welcome to the program. They will always be the Redskins. That's fine. Even if you think the Redskins sounds better, why the hell is the president getting involved in that? I mean, if you're for small government, damn it, you're for small government. There's nothing small government about that. So the numbers are rigged, Denkel. What say you?
If the numbers are rigged, who is he going to put in there to fix it?
They're not going to fix it. They're going to just change the fucking numbers.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He is going to put somebody in there to fix the numbers. That sounds bad in itself.
You can't find me 11 jobs. I mean, it's going to be like that. It's going to be
exactly like that.
Yeah.
Guaranteed whoever he put in there is not going to give him a bad report. Matter of fact, he's going to have some of the reports probably in the history of the country.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of that twisted line from, I think, from Menace. Do you want me these jobs, motherfucker? No, but here you go. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen, is that people just going to be afraid to give him bad news. I mean, that's what it looks like.
And the weirdest thing about it is, when they did the correction under Biden, when they made a correction for Biden over a whole year, and it ended up being something like 818,000 jobs over the whole year when they did the correction. He was using that to say that the Biden, that the Biden economy was jacked up because they did the exact same thing.
Well, like I said in my whole diatribe there, I don't understand why anybody would think that Trump had anything less than poor job performance. I mean, he's literally been on a firing spree since Inauguration Day. Why would you, okay, maybe her numbers are not 100% accurate in your opinion, but you would have to assume his numbers are bad. I mean, he's firing everybody. Why would you think his job numbers would be good? Why would anybody think that?
Right, but I'm just saying he used the exact opposite argument when it happened before.
Yeah.
He said the numbers were right when they made the correction down because the numbers were wrong when they said the numbers were good. It's the opposite of what he's saying right now.
Good news is correct. Yeah, good news is correct. Bad news is wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, even when it was somebody else, he was saying like, I'm glad somebody's finally in there that corrected the numbers. And now that same woman he talking about is the one he's saying is fudging the numbers.
Yeah. And that woman, even though he's suggesting that she was put in there by Biden, she was put in there by a fairly strong bipartisan audience. I think J.D. Vance and Rubio, I think all of them folks were involved in it. That way, she wasn't put in there just solely by Democrats.
Right. She was seen as a neutral arbiter.
Yeah.
She had credentials. She was merit-based, qualified for her job. And the man just walked out there and said, I don't believe her numbers with no statistical facts, and he fired her.
Well, you know Trump. Trump is going to find a way to pin something. Your mama was a Democrat, then, damn it. I mean, he going to just come up with any reason to suggest you work for the other side. I heard your cousin's uncle voted for Biden. I mean, so I got to, that's the way he goes with it, is that he's going to pin something on you just to divide.
Yeah, that's true. But one thing I wanted to inject into this conversation is we should have abused power when we had a chance. We should have gerrymandered. We should have what was that they was talking about doing with the Supreme Court? Remember they was talking about
packing the courts.
Packing the courts, all of the stuff they was talking about doing. We should have did it, but no. What the Democrats said, we gotta follow the rule. We can't be doing it like that. And
I think the problem is, even though folks were predicting Trump might be somewhat radical, people did not expect him to be as far outside of the lines as he has been. I mean, I think that, because if people knew what they were dealing with, I think Mueller would have prosecuted him a lot more aggressively. Jack Smith, they were crossing every T and dotting every I to make sure that they followed along. I mean, if they knew what what was in store, I think they would have moved a lot faster and cut a hell of a lot more corners.
Right, and everybody's trying to do the right damn thing and not turn around. He's taking the exact same reports that they had, and now he's saying that somehow they to blame.
Yeah,
they're the ones who are doing the bad shit.
Yeah.
If you investigate, if you were a prosecutor in the Southern District of New York, and your boss came in there and slapped a case on your desk and said, "Here, this is a new case you're working on," and you worked on that case to the best of your ability, you get fired?
Yeah. I mean, he did the same thing, I think, with the firm that was working when Hillary Clinton sued them and things like that, too. Yeah, he's destroyed a lot of people for just doing their job. I mean, if my job involves me doing something that's adverse against you, it's just my job. No different than if a cop showed up and said that they gave me a warrant that I have to come in and bring you in. I mean, he's just doing his job. I mean, he ain't got no control over what they handed him.
Exactly, and there goes Johnny with his. Trump is finally playing the game.
No, that ain't the game.
What game is our country? What game is our country that the president should be playing with all of our lives? People just trying to make a living, trying to do right. Government employees that've been working for the state, who've been dedicated to their jobs. A lot of them were former veterans who worked, who went to work for the government afterwards. Luckily for me, I retired a few years ago from the civil service after doing 20 years in the military, but I was one of those people. I was one of those people who decided to go and help veterans work at the VA, help them get their benefits, help them take care of.
Has he cut with all the federal cuts in firings? Has he done anything that's really significant towards the VA?
He's cut manpower, which is obviously going to create problems with wait times and things of that nature. Like a lot of things, we haven't felt the full brunt of what's happening, because it takes time for that kind of stuff to happen. You remove somebody out of contracting, and it just seems like it's not a big deal. But when the terms of that contract start getting neglected, and money is starting to be misplaced, or everything is cost overruns, or people are missing deadlines, those types of things take time. So we can't see it.
Well, you're going to have a hard time seeing it, because the people who are responsible for reporting it to you are either fired or scared to do it. I mean, after seeing folks like the statistics commissioner get fired about the job numbers, you're going to probably have a hell of a lot of people that work for the federal government that are going to be hesitant, if not fearful, of giving you information or giving you statistics and updates that are not favorable to the Trump administration. So you may have to wait until he's gone to get some of the accuracy on some of these numbers.
Right, and by that time, the problem is going to be so bad. It's sort of like back in the day when the VA was having all of those problems with wait times, and they put all of the pressure on the VAs to improve the wait times. So instead of, they didn't give them any more resources, they just told them to improve the wait time. So what they started doing is, when it came close to your appointment, they would just call and reschedule you. So you never crossed that 30-day period.
Damn.
They only give you 30 days.
Oh.
You know, so they would let people go all the way up into 20-something days, and instead of them saying that, oh, I missed my, this person didn't get serviced within 30 days, they just started to clock over and over and over on people, because that's what happens when they got to figure out a way to keep their damn job.
Yeah, so they just cutting corners. I mean, that's the thing, too, because it used to be, you get a job with the city, or you get a job with the county or state or even the federal government. You were in. That was a good job. You kind of could ride that all the way to retirement. Trump has made it so that federal jobs are not good jobs anymore. I mean, you don't know if you're going to have it. You got to assume morale's got to be crazy in some of these places with the large percentage of people that have been laid off, not to mention having to do more because there's less people working with you. So they probably compile duties as well. So you're working more and not knowing if you even have job security at this point.
Right. Yeah, I had a cousin of mine was working for the IRS in Detroit. And after they, forced all of those people out and offered those early retirements, and you can, not work until September, and
right,
and you basically forced those people out. She said,
did they actually did he keep up that promise? I'll let you continue, but when he told you could resign and take a payout, did they? Because I'm hearing that $1,000 to self-deport. There are people on TikTok that are doing lives that have been deported. I got a couple guys I watched that are in Mexico now, and they're saying that whole promise of we'll give you $1,000 to self-deport was a lie.
Right, and I just talked to my cousin a couple of days ago, and she said that nobody has been paid that money. They're gone. They're gone. They're able to get another job somewhere, but none of that money, they haven't received any of that money. So I don't know if they ever going to receive it, but what I know is that's not what he told people.
Right.
He told people you was going to still be getting your regular pay, and you could go out, you could find another job, you could do your thing. If you was close to retirement, you could do the early retirement and stay home until your retirement day hits. She said they had a going away party, and it was like 30 to 40% of the office that does this is the IRS, and she was one of the people that trains the agents to look at the people's tax return.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, when 40% and a lot of your management walk away, bro, this is the best time in the world to cheat on your damn taxes.
Yeah.
Not that I would do anything.
I said that a few months ago. I actually said that. I told people that a few months ago that right now, if you got issues with taxes or you don't want to file or something like that, they don't have the manpower to sweat you right now. It's just, they got too much going on with all of the firings and stuff. But in the comments, one of my viewers stated that that's not true what we're talking about. He said, I know plenty of people who are being paid until September, but then somebody else followed up and said, we will find out eventually. And I do believe that's what's going to happen is that.
Right. Well, I know, I don't know what this person is. I'm telling them, and I know it's anecdotal because I'm only one person, but I'm telling you about somebody that I know personally, a relative, and she said they have not been given any of that money. She said nobody has received that money. So maybe that's just something with the IRS, and maybe he knows somebody worked somewhere else.
It could be that. There's so many departments they fire people in, but it probably is it's probably as simple as a Google search. You can probably Google federal employees claiming that they have not been paid. What was it, a stipend, or what is it called, a severance pay or whatever? I'm sure that there are probably people doing videos on YouTube and on TikTok and doing news, videos with newscasters and things like that complaining about it. If people ain't getting paid, they're complaining about it. They don't have any allegiance anymore. They've been fired. So if they're not getting paid, they're complaining. You just hasn't seen it yet. And just like I believe there's going to be a hell of a lot of lawsuits, they have no other choice. If they were promised something and they didn't get it, the only other option is to sue.
Right.
So.
And maybe they'll be getting it soon since that just passed the bill. But remember, before they passed that bill just last week or whatever, 2 weeks ago, the money was not appropriated for what they were doing. So maybe they're starting to pay those people. I don't know, but I know what I talked to somebody that I'm close to, and she had no reason to lie.
My guess is they're going to probably end up getting that money from the next administration. That's my opinion. I mean, we're starting to even hear news stories that Elon and his company Tesla is not. I mean, that just seems like that's the method of operation, is telling people shit and not paying them. I mean, regardless of how you feel about President Trump, there's a whole laundry list of people that were suing him back when he was a civilian for doing stuff for him and not getting paid. And now he becomes president, and you got people that are complaining, I'm not getting paid. Wow, that sounds familiar. And then also Elon Musk. Elon Musk and his Tesla company is like that.
That was one of his mottos before. He was like, I like firing people. I like not paying them.
Yeah.
If they don't do the job that I want from them, then I don't pay them.
I don't even think it's a case of not doing the job, I think it's a case of I'm not going to pay you because I don't have to. What you going to do about it? I think that's the case. I got all the lawyers in the world and all the money in the world. I only owe you $10,000. How much are you willing to spend to pursue that? Because I got a laundry list of lawyers. You want to really try it? I think it's just a case of I'm not going to pay you because I don't have to.
And that's what the other day they was interviewing Trump, and they was saying that all of these people, Obama and Hillary and all of them people, they talking about, trying to bring them up on charges and stuff. And then they asked him, would the Supreme Court ruling protect Obama? And he said, yeah, but not the people around him. And the news show I was saying was that should be a big light bulb above their head. The people that's in Trump's administration, when they're no longer, under his protection, the laws, this stuff that he did, they not gonna be protected.
Well, shit. I mean, but that's just a rerun from last time. I mean, you seen Giuliani, Mike Lindell, the fake electors. I mean, you seen people around him already go down. Like, how much more of this do you need to see? I mean, go holler at Kanye West. I mean, like, damn. How many people you need to see around him?
They seen Mike Pence, you know what I'm saying? He was what? One piece of lead from, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Ashley Babbitt, for him, Yeah. But the last thing I want to say before I go is that you should take a look at, they say the dollar is down around 11%. This year from where it was from last year, down 11%.
Wow.
Trump said when the dollar slumped under Biden that he was an idiot, he was stupid, and only Biden would allow the dollar to go down. I would never allow it to go down. But when they just interviewed Trump the other day about the dollar, he said, well, when the dollar's low, we make a lot of money.
I actually posted that video on my site. I mean, fact is, Trump says a lot of things that does not age well. If you plead the fifth, it means you work for the mob, you got something to hide, then all of a sudden he's pleading the fifth. He suggested that when Obama was in office to strengthen his campaign, he's just going to launch an attack on Iran. Because he starts wars, then all of a sudden he does it. I mean, he says a lot of things that don't age well, such as it's rigged, and now here we are talking about them potentially rigging the midterm. So, a lot of his comments, he said,
I want to see them damn Epstein files. We got to keep on making sure that don't go away. He can't just tell us to stop talking about it and it goes away. I know that's not the topic of your live today.
I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters, then, Cal. I don't think MAGA gives a damn if his name is in the Epstein files. And not to mention, if he's saying that whoever showed you the files rigged the information and added my name in there, a lot of people going to believe that.
Well, the good thing that MAGA is not the majority of the country.
But they're enough. Then, Cal, appreciate you coming through. All right, moving on with the program, by the way. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything here. Thank you, folks that are tapping the screen. Smash that like button if you're watching on YouTube or Clapper. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone, folks. This is uncensored programming, so understand you're going to hear opinions from all sides of the aisle. Make no mistake about it, we remain MAGA friendly. Haven't had any MAGA guests on here tonight. Certainly would love to hear from some MAGA individuals about some of the topics we're talking about, predominantly the one about the gerrymandering in Texas. I would love to hear MAGA's opinion on that. I suppose, putting on my MAGA hat, playing devil's advocate here, I suppose the comment would be, well, the liberals, rigged the election or something like that, indicating that Trump, yeah, he's doing it, but he's only doing it as a measure of revenge. That's usually the defense anytime Trump does something that might be viewed as shady by some. Whether it's mean tweets, whether it's insulting, whether it's attacking someone. Well, they did it to him first. So, oftentimes, it's a measure of he's doing it doing it for revenge, because I don't understand how stating that you want 5 seats, I don't see how that could possibly be viewed in a way that is not trying or attempting to rig the midterms. I just don't see how it could be viewed any other way. I mean,
how many more seats do you want the Republicans to draw?
5.
And then what if California, New York, Illinois, and other blue states?
Yeah, well, that's okay too, but 5. I think we get 5. And there could be some other states. We're going to get another 3 or 4 or 5 in addition. Texas would be the biggest one, and
So
that'll be 5.
are you calling them for a complete redrawing of the congressional map?
No, just a very simple redrawing. We pick up 5 seats.
And where? Texas.
I mean, he's literally admitting we're redrawing the map just to pick up 5 additional seats, which means how do people in Texas actually vote? Be damned. We're going to draw the map in a way that we're going to pick up 5 seats in the state of Texas no matter what they do. How is that not rigging the election? How could that not be rigging the election? It's clear that they're going to pick up 5 seats based on what him and Governor Greg Abbott of Texas are doing. Has nothing to do with whether people vote. He didn't say nothing about voter turnout. He didn't say nothing about liberals not voting and more Republicans. He didn't mention the voters at all. He's making it clear they're going to redraw the map in a way that's going to amount to 5 more congressional seats. Politicians are supposed to be elected, not drawn in. How is this not rigging the election? I don't even see where he's not even really hiding it. He's admitting what they're doing is picking up more seats. Now, as I stated before, some might argue whether liberals stole the 2016 election or rigged. I mean, they're going to have some kind of way to suggest what he is doing is only revenge, but I don't see how it's on its face. I don't see how this could not be construed as rigging the midterms. Penny with an I. You asked, do I ever talk to American Lumberjack? Yes, I talk to Black MAGA all the time. Predominantly, if I'm not in, generally, if I'm not in here talking to my fine viewers here, if I'm on somebody else's platform, it's almost always a MAGA-oriented platform. So, yeah, Lumberjack, AJ, and all of those folks, I talk to them all the time. Anyway, looking in the comments, you better worry about AI learning from them. AI is frightening. AI is definitely frightening. This is just remapping. Someone who said this, Melvin says, this is just remapping PA. This happens all the time to help Democrats. Here's the problem with the notion that it's just remapping. You remap during the census every 10 years. Every 10 years is when the remapping and the gerrymandering takes place. Trump is doing this early. Trump is asking Texas Governor Abbott to do this early. That's what makes it so unusual. They didn't wait the 10 years to do it. What you do is at the end of 10 years, you generally check your populations. People move around and things like that. So there you can remap and you can remap. Not, I don't want to say gerrymandering, but that's what's happening. But you generally want to remap because populations move. Like somebody mentioned California earlier in the live. Lots of people are leaving California and going to places like Arizona and Texas. Well, that could result in California losing congressional seats. That could happen. But there is a period of time when you are allowed, supposedly, to do the remapping. They're doing it early here. They're doing it early so that it happens before the midterms. It's done specifically to gather more seats in the midterms. It's solely based on the election. It's not based on anything else. It's not even based on migrations of populations or anything. I just want more seats. So, I mean, they're literally doing it in a way where some of the Democrats are now going to be running against each other. This is literally rigging on every level. I don't see how you can spin this to suggest it's not rigging. The only defense for it is to come up with something, I guess, that the Democrats have done in the past and say, well, they did something too. But this is rigging, period. I don't see any way to look at it. Illinois, here, and this is what I'm saying here. Somebody said that Illinois did the same thing. Gerrymandering is named after a Democrat. Yeah, but before 10 years are up, every 10 years, gerrymandering happens every damn where. When they're doing this census after 10 years, it happens everywhere. Doing it early is not common. I don't know about anybody doing it early. What Trump is doing is different. That's why it's getting more attention. It's getting more attention because he just did it. And not only that, but he's not trying to hide what he's doing. That's also what's getting attention. He's flat out coming out and saying, I want to get 5 more seats. He's not even hiding it. He's not trying to make up some kind of bullshit excuse for why he's doing it, which we may be able to see right through. He's just coming out and saying, the only reason I'm doing this is I want to get 5 more seats. That's why it's getting more attention, is he's not even hiding what he's doing. Democrats be gerrymandering as well, but nobody cares about that though. And that's, like I said before, that's the only defense for what Trump is doing, is to deflect and say what somebody else did. There is no defense for what he's doing. The only thing we can say is, well, somebody else did it too. There is literally no defense for what he's doing. He is indeed rigging the midterms. The only thing people can say is, well, somebody else in the past did something else. But what he is doing is rigging the midterms. Nobody is denying that he's doing it. Well, but this person did something too. Let me go back to the boxing. I see Denkel refer to it as cheating. So be it. But they just had a huge population shift in Texas. Then you wait after the 10 years, MAGA reacts, and then you, of course, can do your redistricting after the end of 10 years. You shouldn't be doing it right now. There's no reason, and there's no reason to speed it up other than to get it done before the midterms. Gen X, good evening.
What's going on, brother?
You know what I always say, hanging around like Mike Pence on January 6th. What's going on?
Nah, just chilling, man. I'm in a real good mood tonight, man.
You guys gotta, hold on real quick. You're in Montana, right? You're in Montana, right?
Yes, sir.
You guys got a killer on the loose up there?
Yeah, to my knowledge, they ain't caught him yet.
Damn, he's military, right?
Yeah, he's ex-military, and we don't know what happened. It happened over in Anaconda. Actually, a bar that I've been at.
Damn.
So I don't know, man.
What is he at, like 4? Did he take out like 4 people or something?
He killed like 4. Yeah, he killed 4 people. They said the news said he just went in there shooting. What I'm hearing is that there was an argument the night before and he went back the next day. I don't know.
Damn.
I don't know. I don't know the guy. I don't know the situation, but I know this. If he tries to victimize more people at local places, he'll probably get not a great result, because all of us here are
Carriers.
fairly protected.
Yeah, but one thing, I mean, Montana's always been a fairly heavily armed state. I mean, they were heavily armed when he was killing them.
Well, here's what I heard, and this is just hearsay. I heard he was in and out of there within like 3 to 5 minutes. He went in, shot the place up, and ran out. And there were several people in there that just weren't expecting it. So, I mean...
Well, shit. I think that's how most of us navigate through life. We don't expect somebody to come into an establishment and start popping people.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's a horrible situation. Innocent people, as far as I know, innocent people lost their lives.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know all the details. I don't know all the facts. I don't know if it was a revenge thing. He got his ass whipped the night before and went back and just went fucking buck wild. I don't know.
Yeah. So anyway, getting into the actual topic of this show, why the hell would Trump being on just literally an insane firing spree ever since he swore in and was inaugurated, why would he be thinking his job numbers should be better?
What do you mean? I don't understand the question.
Well, Tourism is down. Nobody wants to come to this country. You know, we threatened to make Canada the 51st state, so the Canadians are avoiding coming here. The Europeans are not coming here because we've threatened Greenland and we said all kinds of negative shit about them. Obviously, nobody south of the border is coming here, so places like Disney World and Vegas are talking about tourism is down significantly. Lack of tourism equals reduction in jobs. The tariffs are costing all kinds of small businesses their business. Everybody from agriculture to auto manufacturers are talking about they're losing business. Some small businesses are having to close down. Getting rid of TPS, getting rid of asylum seekers and deporting everybody. If you are TPS or if you're an asylum seeker, not only are you here illegally, but you are also working legally. So when you get rid of them people, you're basically leading to more job loss. And then, of course, the federal government, they've been firing every damn body. Based on all of the firings and terminations of employment that's been taking place in the last 7 months since Trump got elected, why would anybody think his job numbers would not be dismal?
Well, let me start at this. He hasn't been firing everybody. He's been firing personnel that are unneeded.
How do you know that?
That's number one. He's been firing personnel that are unneeded.
Did you hear what I just said though? I mean, we're talking tourism, we're talking tariffs, all of that's leading to people getting fired.
Yeah, there's a downside to what he's doing with the tariffs and this and that, but you know what? He told us that this was going to happen before he even did it.
Yeah.
It's too soon. It's too soon into the administration. We're talking, what, 7 months?
No, I'm
7 months.
No, but
hold on. Let me say this, Tim. If this is the same situation in 18 months, I will gladly rub shoulders with you and say, you know what? This man is fucking up.
18 months.
Plastic live in color. I'm fucking up.
You said 18 months?
Yeah, it'll take that long to get shit in fucking.
You know how much, at this pace, when you look at all of the TPS and asylum seekers that have been fired, the tourism industry taking a hit is taking what the terrorists are doing. You realize how much damage can be done in 18, that's over a year from now. You realize how much damage can be done?
Yeah, let me say something to your chat, to Twinkle Toes. Montana is unneeded. You know what? It's Montana, and the rest of the states are our bitches.
Yeah, Montana is unneeded. Damn. That's kind of mean. But getting back to the job numbers, though, there has not been have you heard of any industry at all under President Trump throughout his first 7 months that's really been hiring a bunch of people other than ICE? Has any industry at all been hiring a bunch of people?
No, not even one. In fact, I've got the numbers up here. We're talking, the numbers are down. They've only created 77,000 jobs in his first 6 months, 7 months.
So why is he saying the numbers are, why is he saying that?
Hear me out. Hear me out. But he's been focused on so much other shit that he's not really focused on the job creation. That's not. Look, in his first term, before COVID, how many jobs did Trump create? A lot. In fact, he broke records. Now he's more concerned with immigration, international policy, these fucking Jews killing everybody, the Ukrainians and the Russians fighting.
Wait. You didn't sneak. Did I hear you say Jews killing everybody?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean over in Israel?
Yeah.
Okay. So okay, fair enough. So I'm asking.
I'm no big fan of Netanyahu at all.
All right. Okay.
In fact, I don't like Netanyahu at all, and all my constituents will say, "Oh, well, you're wrong." No, I'm not wrong, because Netanyahu is a fucking murderer. Now, I don't agree with the Muslims either. I think that they want to kill us faster than the Jews, but I think both parties, man, let them just fucking figure it out, man.
Well, they're not going to figure it out. They're going to slaughter each other. But here's what I want to ask you, though. Based on what you're saying, that Trump has been focused on every damn thing else, why the hell, if he's been focused on everything else, would he step up and say the job numbers are rigged? I mean, you should expect his job numbers for the first 7 months to be horrible. He's been firing everybody. Why would he think that his job numbers would be better than what was released?
Well, the job numbers were rigged because the last administrator of that had job creation down by, I think it was 5%. I don't remember the exact number. But the fact is, it's not down. It's up very small. The numbers are great.
Why would it be up?
Job creation is not down. It's up.
Why would you think that?
Numbers, and you're talking someone that was appointed by the Biden administration.
Why would you think? Why would you think during Trump's first 7 months the jobs are up? When you admit it, I don't know any industry at all that's been hiring people, but I can think of plenty of industries that have been firing people. Why would you think the numbers would be up? Based on what?
No, the first 2 years before COVID, the 20.
This has nothing to do with the numbers they just released are based on what happened in May and June. This has nothing to do with back then. They're talking over the last few months, his job numbers are poor. It ain't got nothing to do with going back like a few years ago. We're talking about this year. His job numbers are horrible.
And I conceded to that.
So why is he saying they're rigged? Then why is he saying his job numbers this year are rigged?
Why? Because the person that was reporting the job numbers didn't have it as a plus. You know what? If you go from 70,000, as low as it is still a plus. She had it as a negative, and that's why he fired her.
I don't think that's true. She listed it as like 14,000 or something. She listed it as a plus. It wasn't negative. She didn't say he lost 77,000 jobs. I believe it was as a plus.
I'll pull it up right now. It was negative. She had it as a negative. It wasn't a huge negative, but it was a negative.
I just don't see. I kind of wonder if he can show any proof that things were rigged like that. If he said it was a plus versus a negative, can he even prove that?
Probably.
I mean, because
whether he does or not, I mean that's anyone's guess.
Well,
I mean that man's got so much shit on his plate. Come on, let's get some common ground here, Tim.
Okay.
This man has been fucking going back and forth for the last 6 months, and the only thing the left has done was fucking try to stop him.
Let me tell you why I disagree with that. He's talked about, because you say he got a whole bunch of shit on his plate and the left is getting in his way. If he has so much shit on his plate, why is he talking about stuff like taking away Rosie O'Donnell's citizenship? He just attacked Charlemagne the God, a radio host. Why the hell is he getting involved in this little bullshit? If he's so fucking busy, why does he have time for all that little stuff?
Brother, you're moving the goalposts.
That's what you said. You said he is so focused, he don't have time for all. If he is so focused, how does he have time for this stuff? I'm not moving the goalposts. You said he's focused.
I agree with you. I'm saying that he is so focused on everything else, and the left is being such obstructionist to everything he's done. Where the fuck does Rosie O'Donnell come into this? Because personally to Trump.
No, he took to social media himself and said he was considering revoking her citizenship. The guy that's focused on everything he had time to go on social media and write this whole diatribe about how he was thinking about taking away her citizenship. That sounds focused to you?
No, I get that, and I get your shot. I know you're in the handsome liberal fucking echo.
It got nothing to do with that. Don't worry about that. Imagine it's just you and I sitting in the bar talking together. You said he's focused, and I'm bringing up all this little wild shit, like him going after Charlemagne the God, a guy that was on a Fox News program that didn't like him. And here he is on social media talking about that guy and saying he don't like his name and all kinds of crazy shit. This don't sound like a guy that's heavily focused to me. This guy's attacking. Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question, a relevant question. Does Trump have a big mouth?
You can't have a big mouth and be focused.
No, yes or no? Does Trump have a big mouth?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Now, why do we think, and we may disagree on this, why does Trump have a big mouth? My opinion is Trump has a big mouth because he likes to divert from what's really going on because he wants fame and fortune. He wants people to fucking, he's like the fucking, the leader of a group that wants people to love him. And I get that. I get that. But the reality is the shit he's doing via tariffs, via employment, real estate. Brother, I just bought a house. Today, I closed on my new house.
Congrats. Congratulations.
And I paid 70 grand less than I would have paid last year. And I'm pretty happy about that. I'm like a fat kid in the candy store.
But so you bought it in cash?
Yeah, I deal with cash.
Because you do understand that people who have mortgages are going to pay more under Trump than Biden due to the interest rates.
That I can't speak on, Tim. I don't know about mortgages.
Yeah, you're speaking about purchasing a house from a more wealthier aspect that most Americans never get involved. Most Americans do not buy their houses in cash. They're dealing with them fucking interest rates. They don't buy homes in cash like that. So what?
My point, Tim, is this: is I paid a lot less today than I would have paid last year. Because I tried to buy a house last year, and you remember this, I told you this, and shit fell through. Yeah, I closed on my house today for a lot less than I would have paid last year.
Did you hear what I just said though? You paid as a cash buyer, you paid a lot less, but as a typical American citizen that takes out a mortgage, they would have paid more.
Well, you can thank the fucking the guy at the Fed that won't lower fucking interest rates.
You can thank Trump's economy for why he's doing it.
Bro, Trump wants to lower the fucking interest rate. If it goes down to 3% from 6%, average Americans will pay a lot less for housing.
Well,
to buy a house.
Yeah, but there's a reason why he's not lowering the interest rates because he doesn't believe America. Because America's not taking its debt seriously. Trump came in talking about how much Obama and Biden ran up the national debt, and then he got in there and raised the debt ceiling. So they don't believe that America is taking seriously paying off its debts. That's why they're not lowering the rates.
Okay, so keep America in debt is what the Democrats say. Keep America in debt instead of lowering interest rates and letting average Americans fucking buy homes.
No, it's just like anything else. If you got a credit score, if your credit score or your ability to pay off your debts is.
That's exactly what you're saying, Tim.
No, it's not. Hear me out. Hear me out. Just like in the credit world, if creditors do not believe you are serious about paying off your debts, they're not going to loan you money as easy. They're not going to give you the good rates. I mean, Trump got in there and he's done nothing to reduce the national debt. He raised the debt ceiling, leading us to believe he's only going to get us further into debt. If a creditor thinks you're only going deeper in debt, they're going to give you poorer interest rates. So it's very similar to what you and I deal with, just on a grander level. They don't believe he's serious about lowering the national debt. So they're not just going to lower the interest rates just because he asked them to.
All right, let me address some of your comments. You, sir, need more coffee. Wait, he bought a house cash, but he has no teeth? I actually have teeth. I just don't like to fucking wear them because they hurt. And I've gotten appointed in implants, which I'm not real fucking thrilled about because I don't want to get the fucking screws up into my skull. But thank you very much. Fuck you, motherfucker. I love you anyway, man. Love your comment.
All right. Well, I do got to move it on, Gen X. Always a pleasure having you in here. Congratulations on the house, man. Certainly. Real quick, do you see this gerrymandering shit as rigging the midterms?
Tim, I don't know enough about the midterm thing. What I've read and what I understand, I don't agree with. But with a caveat, let me say this. The Democrats have done it too, and they went before the 10-year term, and they've actually explored doing that, and the Republicans, Trump just did it. He just pulled the fucking trigger.
So you don't know much about this.
Hold on, let me finish. I don't think it's right on either side. I think we need to stick by the law. But I understand it. I mean, I understand it, brother. I totally understand it. Brother, if you were in Montana, I'm going to throw a housewarming party in November, and we're going to have a whole bunch of Proud Boys there, and you're going to be honorary Black Proud Boy.
Yeah, you sound like you need a fucking 6'6", 300-pound pinata. I got to move it on though, man. Appreciate you coming through. Right. So you trying to get my ass beat by a bunch of crazy white boys. Anyway, tap the screen, get the likes on up to 55,000, THOU, at least 50. Y'all can get the likes up to 50. Tap the screen, smash that like button if you're watching on YouTube. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. If you favor civilized dialogue from all sides of the aisle, do your boy solid. Give your boy a follow if you happen to be watching on Clapper or TikTok. If you're watching on YouTube, drop a sub in there if you will. Go ahead and give your boy a sub. The inflation is lower now. Oh, excuse me, and rates are going down. With tariffs chaotic with the tariff chaotic implementation, okay, the way they were implemented, I'm having a hard time reading that, but the way they were implemented of the tariffs, it causes unknowns in the market. We don't like that. It also causes inflation. That's a great way of orating it too. That it's hard to be serious about investing when you got a government that can change on a whim. I mean, it's just simple as that. It's hard to be serious about investing or moving manufacturing plants and stuff like that back to the country when you got a president that can just make changes on a whim. For instance, Canada just stated that they're going to recognize the Palestinian state. A lot of folks want a two-state solution over there in Israel. They believe the Palestinians should have their own country. The Israelis and some folks do not believe the Palestinians should have their own country. Well, Canada announced they're going to recognize the Palestinian state. Trump responded by saying he started threatening to tariff Canada based on that. That has nothing to do with anything other than just retribution against this country. How can you make investment decisions based on somebody doing that? Brazil is another one we bring up all the time. The nation of Brazil has a former dictator or a former president, whatever he was. He wasn't a dictator. He was a president or whatever. And the country is prosecuting him because he tried his best to stage a coup and remain in power. He was unsuccessful. And the nation of Brazil is trying to prosecute him, bring him to justice. President Trump, during his first term, was quite fond of that leader, who was the leader at the time. Trump is quite fond of that guy. Kind of wonder why, but Trump was quite fond of the guy. Because the nation of Brazil is trying to prosecute him, Trump is threatening to increase the tariffs on Brazil. Has nothing to do with our trade imbalance or anything at all. You just don't like an obscure decision of that country, so you punish the whole fucking nation by imposing tariffs on them. How can you make investment moves based on somebody who does that? Who knows what country that you're coming from or you're going to that might fall out of favor with Trump for literally the most trivial reason, and he decides, well, I'm going to punish the whole nation by imposing higher tariffs. How can you make any moves based on that? So that absolutely can affect the stock market because a lot of people are going to be scared to make moves with him being so volatile. I mean, it's like baking soda and vinegar to some degree. Handsome Comment says, ask him, is Gangsta Grandma the lady invited to his new home? What, to make a sandwich? I didn't see that comment. I wish I could have asked him that. He probably would have said, yeah. I don't know if Gen X really gets a chance to Gangsta Grandma really going in on it, but that would have been an interesting question to ask. How does someone bankrupt a casino? Absolute brain dead businessman can. Well, could be a possibility that he done something to drain the money out of the casino to give himself a large payment and didn't care about taking more than enough out for the place to remain in in progress. I don't know why or how a person could bankrupt a casino, but regardless of what Trump's businesses have done, he's continued getting wealthier and wealthier. So technically, he's a successful businessman. They don't judge you based on the survival of your businesses. They judge you based on what your bank account is doing. And this bank account has been growing and growing. I think, I mean, there's a whole bunch of things, you know, let people do work for you and not pay them, save you money, get free labor. There's a lot of things he's been doing, but bank-wise, he's getting richer. He was getting richer and richer. You could make a lot more money by keeping a casino running. Did he have lawsuits? Did he have chicks after him? I mean, it is hard to imagine on its face bankrupting a casino, but there could be other things there. Who knows? There could be other shit there. Maybe you're about to divorce a wife and she's going to get half of it. So you just take a bunch of money out and run and don't even leave it enough for the operator because you don't give a shit about it. Who knows? I don't know why or how a person bankrupts a casino. But I doubt if it was just poor business planning. There's probably something else behind it. As people say, Trump plays chess when everybody else is playing checkers. I don't know, but that does seem kind of hard to bankrupt the casino. House always should win. He does prenups, so I wouldn't count on that one. Yeah, okay, fair enough. The stock market, but he's also getting sued all the damn time. A prenup won't save you from rape allegations and all kinds of crazy shit like that. He's always, I mean, Trump, I'm sure he's been getting sued most of his adult life. The stock market is always at all-time highs. The stock market has billions of dollars of Social Security being pumped into it every year. That's usually always going to push it up. I don't think the stock market, though, tells the whole tale. This is like when Biden was telling us the economy was doing well, even though people were saying I'm having a hard time buying groceries and I don't see the jobs. Trump is doing that now. That same thing is happening under Trump now. He's telling you that things are going well when people don't see that. Now, if you're like my last caller where you could purchase your home in cash, yeah, maybe so. But for the average person, people are not seeing it like that. Interest rates are up, groceries and goods and services are up. People are not seeing it. Jobs are down. Joby, good evening. Welcome to the program.
Hey, sir. Thanks for having me up.
Appreciate you holding, man. So what do you think? How are you?
Oh, man. Does it matter what anybody thinks anymore?
I hope so. But I get your point.
Now, what you were just talking about with the Texas Democrats and the gerrymandering, the Greg Abbott is now threatening to kick dozens of Democrats off the legislature if they left the state to avoid the vote. So now he wants to have them arrested.
Yeah, but those arrests have no power outside of Texas, and they're all outside of Texas. Massachusetts and Illinois is not going to arrest these people. Some of them in Chicago, some of them in New York. They're not going to arrest these people on behalf of Greg Abbott.
Are they going to get arrested on the return?
That may happen, but the whole purpose of arresting them is to bring them into the House so they can hold a vote. So when they come back, you're just going to arrest them and bring them in. So they're not trying to arrest you and throw them in jail. The whole goal is to bring them in. Like if you have a bench warrant, the whole purpose is to bring you before the judge. That's what they're trying to do. So when they come back, okay, we can have a vote now.
And what the other gentleman was saying about Trump being focused, I'm sorry, but that is the most unfocused person. He's talking about a blue jean commercial.
Yeah.
He's talking about Taylor Swift.
Has Trump weighed in on the blue jean commercial too? Has he weighed in on it?
It's in his last Truth Social when he attacked Charlemagne, and he said Taylor Swift's not hot.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't, that's dementia 101 right down the board, if you're asking me. If you're the president, the last thing you're thinking about is a blue jean commercial.
Yeah.
How hot Taylor Swift is or not. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I got, and that's what I was, and that would be a good one for Gangsta Grandma because she always says I never push back. But that's what I was saying is that the notion that Trump is focused with all of the fights and petty shit that he does, he's not focused. I mean, he gets involved in any little spat. I mean, Rosie O'Donnell's citizenship, that's not something a focused person would even comment on.
Redskins.
There's another. I mean, I don't see the focus. I just don't see the focus. Other than
just imagine that was Joe Biden's line.
What do you mean?
If he did any of that, any of it, one of them.
Well, that's what I keep saying is that President Trump, while many folks favor Trump and what he's doing, they're not going to favor another politician if they do the same thing. I mean, you may start seeing the Greg Gutfields and Dana Perinos on Fox News like, we really kind of overstepped and let Trump do everything because we don't like what this new guy's doing. If a liberal gets in there after Trump and just does literally the same stuff as Trump, the right's going to be pissed. I mean, because they've turned a blind eye to a lot of things that Trump has done that is either borderline crossing the line or all the way on the other side of it.
So we have Fox News sued for almost a bill for lying, admitted to it.
Yeah.
And now 9 of them are in his cabinet.
That's a good point. I've said that before when people suggested CNN and MSNBC are nothing but liars, and I'm like, Fox News actually had to pay a huge lawsuit for lying, and he took the people off the network and put them in the cabinet. So what does that mean about his cabinet?
I don't know anything about the Heritage Foundation. Never heard of them. Blah 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 blah. Are there 15 now in his cabinet?
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think whether it's ending the war in 24 hours, releasing the Epstein list, bringing down the price of groceries pretty much right away, I think it's pretty clear that Trump has said some things that are not true. So when he starts talking about he don't know anything about Project 2025 and the Heritage Foundation, my guess is he lied.
He knows everything.
He lied.
I mean, you have to just, to understand him, you have to just take whatever he says and go to the bizarro world part of it. The opposite. And that's where the truth lies.
He's had a lot of success though, Joby. He's had a lot of success.
Because he's got, the only way I can make any reason of this, Tim, is that when I just recently learned that American adults, 53 to 56% are at a 5th grade level or below.
Damn. What are you saying? It matters down there?
That is the only thing that helps me kind of make sense of this in any way, shape, or form.
Jeez.
We're just a bunch of dummies.
I don't want to refer to MAGA as dummies. I don't want to say that.
No, I'm not MAGA. It's American. 53% to 56% are at a 5th grade level or below. Yeah. How can we not be where we're at?
I do believe there's a lot of people that do not question their politicians. I mean, I do. I believe that if Trump says something, a large portion of his, like for instance, the numbers are rigged. Ain't nobody gonna ask for proof of that. If he said, that's good enough. I mean, when he said the election in 2016 was stolen, or Biden or Obama wiretapped his office, I mean, look, the guy says a lot of stuff.
Whenever he does some fuckery, and he does a lot of it, I realize this. All he does is tells them whose fault it is, and they believe him. He just points his finger at whose fault it is, and they believe him. That's what he does every single time. Tell me one time, Tim, that he's taken accountability for any single thing. Just give me one example.
I think he apologized for the whole grab him by the pussy thing. I think there was a slight apology made by that. I mean, I'm really trying my best to think. I mean, because fact is, he does not apologize for anything. Nothing. I mean, he does not apologize.
He usually doubles down. I wanted to ask you what you thought of VP Harris's interview on Colbert.
I didn't see it. I didn't watch it. I saw it. I know that it took place as a full interview of it on YouTube. To me, look, she says she's not running for California governor. She kind of left it open in 2028, but there's not a lot of relevance there. I mean, like Michelle Obama has a program. I don't watch. I mean, if you're not really relevant, I mean, her time is over with. Now Biden just gave a speech that was pretty damn strong, but even he is not relevant. So I didn't watch it all.
So who do you think? Do you think there are any Democratic leaders?
Wow. Yes, but I mean, I think that Whitmer still remains a leader. I think, what is the name? Shapiro, whatever his name was, the Pennsylvania governor has a potential of being a leader. People don't like Newsom, but he absolutely is a Democratic leader. For what it's worth, AOC and Bernie Sanders are Democratic leaders. They're way far to the left of most Democrats, but they do command thousands of people to show up. I mean, there are Democratic leaders, but is there a Democratic leader that could give Trump competition? My humble opinion is, doesn't matter. Trump can't run again. So while none of these folks would probably be able to
say that yet.
Legally, he can't run again. Shit. I mean, let me just say this. Here's one of the things. When I say he can't run again, here's one of the things you can take solace in. He's too fucking old. Okay, yeah, he might try to run for a third term, but we're talking about putting like an 83-year-old in there, hoping that he survives and remains cognitive until 87. So, yeah, he may try to run for a third term, but he's too fucking old. And the point.
You got an opinion on Chris Murphy?
Not the recognition is not there yet. I don't think the recognition. Yeah, not yet. But I will say this though. In regards to the Democrats not having a strong leader, I think they have one thing going for them, and that is, like I've just stated before, is that they don't have to worry about going up against Trump. And every single replacement for Trump will be significantly weaker than Trump. The Republican Party does not have anybody that can step up to the mic after Trump with that much power and adoration. Nobody. It ain't gonna be DeSantis. It's not gonna be Vance. It's not gonna be who else will be out there? There's no one in the Republican Party that's gonna have that much unity among MAGA and the Republicans that Trump has. So whoever the Democrats run against, it's gonna be a weaker candidate. It's gonna be a weaker candidate. That person will be endorsed by Trump likely, but there is nobody on the Republican, because Trump has drawn all of the power out of the Republican Party. He's not letting anybody stand in the spotlight with him. I mean, J.D. Vance, you barely even hear from the motherfucker. Not to mention him tweeting out pictures of J.D. Vance in an O.J. Simpson kind of police chase with J.D. Vance looking like a fucking goofy. He sent a really ugly picture of J.D. Vance. How Trump did that the other day. So he clearly don't see J.D. Vance pulling it off. So I don't know who the Democrats will run against, but
Isn't all this Truth Social and these media posts, this is the stuff that goes into the archives, right?
yeah. Well, you heard he's trying to remove the impeachments from his own Smithsonian. He's trying to. I don't know why he would. Go ahead.
You got a new Sharpie to do that?
I don't know why he would try to do some shit that's all over video. I mean, it's on YouTube. Other countries have it. I mean, okay, if somebody, these children go to your museum or to the Smithsonian, they got to do a book report and shit like that. You don't think it's going to be liberals outside handing out pamphlets of your fucking impeachment? Like, they're going to be telling these kids, this ain't in here. Here's something here. Take this in there with you. You ain't going to hear about this. Like, why would you take that out? What they should do is let the truth be in there. But then you can have videos of him saying the impeachment was a hoax or the Democrat. Let his defense of it be in there. But to take the impeachments out when everybody knows they happen, that's crazy. Go ahead.
Is any of this, are you like the other average Americans? Is this an anxiety?
What do you mean?
I mean, is this causing, do you think this is causing anxiety?
Hell yeah, it's causing anxiety. People fucking moving out of the goddamn country. Yeah, it's causing anxiety. People are moving out of the damn country. People losing their, loved ones and shit. People getting rounded up that have no reason to be stopped. Yeah, it's causing anxiety. I got folks asking me after the immigrants are gone, are they gonna start deporting black people? Yes, people are anxious, man. People are anxious. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think that MAGA goes when he goes?
No, because the Tea Party was similar to MAGA before him. I think it gets weaker, though. I don't think, like I said, there is nobody that can take the mic after Trump and keep that movement going with the power of Trump. It'll still be there, but it'll be significantly weaker. I mean, you're going to have everybody from Vivek Ramaswamy to Ron DeSantis all vying to be the next Trump, which is going to create some fracturing to itself. Whereas under Trump, everybody was unified that this is our leader, we're going to follow this guy. The next guy ain't going to have that kind of power. So it'll be there, but it won't be as strong.
But do you think the next ones, like Ramaswamy and all of those people, do you think they're going to try to outdo him as far as the fucking craziness?
Shit, that's a tall order to fill. Shit. No, I'll tell you why. No, I don't think so, because I don't think they would have the support to do it. Like with Trump, he can do anything, and Republicans will kind of turn a blind eye to it. But because you're gonna have all of the what normally would be referred to as lieutenants trying to beat Trump, some Republicans are gonna go this way with Vivek, some might go this way with Ron DeSantis, or they might go this way with JD Vance. So you're not going to get all the Republicans to turn a blind eye, because all of them don't like you. So it's going to be harder for the next guy to come close to doing what Trump has gotten away with.
But do you think there's going to be any Republicans who are going to run on the purpose of bringing back the Republican Party from MAGA?
Not as long as Trump is alive. I mean, you can do it, but you're going to fall by the wayside like Nikki Haley and some of them are. I mean, Trump will just get up there and say all of the shit we've accomplished, all of the strength we've gotten, and she want to take us back to, what do you want to call it, being typical politicians working with the swamp, and they'll eat that up. I mean, you can try to do that. I think I heard, who was it, Chris Cuomo, that said that the traditional Republicans are going to stage a coup and try to take their party back. Not as long as Trump is alive. That ain't gonna happen. I just don't see it. You might as well be an N-word lover doing some shit like that. I don't see it. I don't see it. It ain't gonna happen. That won't even be safe. That ain't gonna happen.
All right, man. Well, thanks for having me up, Tim. It's been a pleasure talking to you again.
Always. Joby, thanks for holding on, man. Thank you. All right. Anytime. Moving on with the program, by the way, tap the screen to get us on up to 60,000. Get us on up to 60,000. Feel free to smash that like button if you're watching on YouTube or Clapper as well. Looking in the comments, wait, are you conservative or liberal or middle? I'm confused. I tend to be a little bit left of center. Not very far left, but a little bit left of center on some issues. So, and then there's some issues where, like I'm 100% behind defending the border. I don't believe biological males should be able to play in women's sports and shit like that. So, I mean, there's a few issues, but typically I am left of center on other issues. Wow, people are actually defending the Crockett train wreck. Sad. I don't, you talking about Jasmine Crockett there, Laurel in the car. I don't see any difference between defending Jasmine Crockett or versus Marjorie Taylor Greene or grabbing people in theaters, Bobart. You got people on your side. In fact, I think Jasmine Crockett is a hell of a lot more civilized and educated than Marjorie Taylor Greene, and you're defending that. I mean, she's walking around talking about Jewish space lasers and showing a picture of Hunter Biden's dick on the Senate floor. Jasmine Crockett ain't that bad. So you're going to bring up Jasmine Crockett and ignore Marjorie Taylor Greene and all the support she's gotten? I don't know. I think you're just kind of seeing it from a biased perspective. Marjorie Taylor Greene has done some pretty kooky ass shit. Tap the screen. We'll take the next caller at 60,000. Feel free to let your thumbs not be lazy. I don't know what just happened there. Tap the screen. Now, looking in the comments real quick, I like Jasmine. A lot of people like Jasmine. A lot of people like Marjorie Taylor Greene. Her behavior is unacceptable. So is Marjorie Taylor Greene's behavior. Save your assumptions. It's not an assumption. I don't hear anybody on the right complaining about Marjorie Taylor Greene. They're all complaining about Jasmine Crockett. It's not an assumption. That's fucking reality. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a nutcase, says Shorty. All right, 60 an hour, give the power back to the people. F the corporations. Well, if you're going to allow districts to be gerrymandered so that Trump can get 5 districts or 5 seats, that ain't giving the power back to the people. That's Trump telling the governor of Texas to redraw the map so that they just get 5 extra seats. Doesn't matter how the people vote. He's redrawing the map so your vote does not really even count unless you're on his side. That's the opposite of power to the people. Marjorie Taylor Greene with part of the Q&A, are they still relevant? Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene is in a very deep red district. She's kind of like the AOC types where they're not going anywhere. I mean, AOC would probably keep winning for quite a while. Marjorie Taylor Greene, where she's located, she'll probably keep winning for quite a while as well. So when you ask, is she relevant? Well, she's going to be voting in Congress for quite a while. Can someone say they really know what each party stands for and what are the goals of the party? Just wondering, seeing everything that's going on, especially electing a con to be president. Damn. Well, I'll respond by saying this. I think you typically, when you're talking about traditional Democrats and traditional Republicans, you can say what the parties stand for. The difference is Trump is not a traditional Republican. And I'll just simply say, obviously, with Democrats, pro-life, they're pro a number of social programs, everything from tuition forgiveness to, making sure that, food stamps and stuff like that is there if you fall on your face, universal health care. They are, I'm trying to think what else you would say the Democrats are for. Common sense gun laws. They're pro LGBTQ plus. I mean, you know what Democrat principles are. You also know what Republican principles are. Small government. They're pro life. They're pro Christianity, even up to and including pro Christianity in schools. They tend to say they're pro police under most circumstances. Pro law enforcement, pro military. You know what Republican principles are. The difference is Trump is not a traditional Republican. And if you go from being a traditional Republican to being MAGA, Republicans operate on some of the principles that I just stated, small government and all of that shit. MAGA operates on Trump. And the difference is, Trump might be pro-life, pro-police, pro-small government. But if tomorrow he decides to be pro-big government, pro-choice, they're going to go with that. MAGA goes with Trump. Doesn't really, the principle part of it is very blurry. There's not as much principle. It's Trump. If Trump says we need to stop ending these wars overseas and work on America first, MAGA's like, that sounds good. If Trump says we need to start sending nuclear subs outside of Russia to keep them under control, we need to bomb Iran, we're going to go with that too. So it doesn't really matter what Trump does. MAGA's going to follow that. He can change and flip and do things, and MAGA they believe Trump always has the right vision. He's playing chess when everybody's playing checkers. It's kind of like, I hate to throw religion into this, but it's kind of like the deity. It's kind of like God, so to speak. It doesn't matter what happens in your life, whether your life is going very well, whether your life is turbulent and going horribly, whether your relatives and loved ones are doing very well and they're healthy, or whether some of them are dying. No matter what the result is, you always tend to think God has a plan. God is doing this for some reason. You don't question God. It's very similar to that. Very similar to that. No matter what's going on, look, he's playing chess. Everybody else is playing checkers. He has a greater plan for this country. So even if it doesn't look like something you normally would want a politician to do, you have faith, like you would in God, that it's going to turn out right in the end. It's very similar to that. So hopefully that answers the question. Now, looking in the comments, though, if you pay everyone $60 an hour, no more or no less, that's $20 trillion a year. That means no one makes more than okay, that's some socialism stuff you're talking about, Jack. He says, if you pay everyone $60 an hour, no more, no less, that's 20 trillion a year. That means no one makes more than an hour either, and costs go up dramatically for everything. Nobody's going to do that. Okay, nobody's going to agree to paying everybody the same thing. I don't know where you're coming from with that. So why do you buy fake views? How do you buy a view? How do you buy if I could, what would be the purpose of buying views? How do you buy a view? I don't understand why a Christian would support Trump. I understand what pro-life. He's pro-Christianity in schools. I mean, look, he don't live his life. Trump does not live his life like a Christian, but he promotes evangelical views. Certainly more than the liberals who are pro-choice and pro-LGBTQ and stuff like that. I mean, if you are an evangelical and you got a choice between Trump and Biden or Kamala Harris, or really any Democrat, you're likely going to pick Trump. He's defending your religion a little bit. I mean, the Democrats are basically more favorable to all religions. The Democrats are where you're going to hear more of, we don't care who you worship or if you worship anybody at all. The Republican side of y'all is going to be talking more about God, Jesus, and being a Christian. They're not going to really speak about other religions at all. So if you're evangelical and you're a Christian, you're probably going to lean with Trump. It just makes more sense from that level. Inclusivity. Yeah, the Democrats are far more in favor of inclusivity. The Republican Party, not so much. And you don't have to believe anything you hear. You can just look at Republican gatherings versus Democrat gatherings. And you can see it. You don't see a lot of non-Christians at Republican gatherings. You don't see a lot of coloreds. You don't see a lot of gays. I mean, you don't see it's pretty much heterosexual, straight, Christian, white, and that's kind of what you find. Even the folks that identify as Republican that are not, meeting those parameters, if you listen to them talk, they're usually in favor of things that are for those parameters. Hopefully you understand that. Trump only goes to church for weddings and funerals. Yeesh. That is the Christian white nationalist. That's the only reason. Well, I'm not going to speak on that too much, but I will say I'm working on a video right now, and it's going to be titled, I don't understand why black people are Christian, because, look, I understand I grew up in the church and things like that, and I'm not going to pretend like everybody who's Christian is racist or whatever, but there is a ton of racism in Christianity. I mean, I don't understand how folks were brought to the country as bonded folks that were enslaved were brought to this country, forced to adhere to that religion. That was the religion that was forced upon them. They couldn't come here and practice any other religion. That would have been outlawed. They could have been killed for doing it. They were forced to accept Christianity, God, Jesus Christ as their savior, all of that stuff. And once they became free, they kept following that. Like, this religion is not in your best interest. They're reading from this Bible while treating you like that. So clearly, whoever their God is, don't think much of you. Do not think very well of you. Why would you keep that once you were free to leave it? I just don't understand that. Even folks now admit that even the drawings that represent Jesus Christ are probably whitewashed and things like that. I don't understand why they kept that. Why would you not get rid of this? This was created by your oppressors. Like, why would you want to keep following this? And a lot of them are using this as a reason to keep you in bondage. It didn't make sense to me. It did not make sense to me, but that's just me. It may make sense to all of you folks. Thank you for that. Whoever just sent that, Deborah, I think it was. Appreciate that. Thank you for the support. Because African Americans knew they are the real chosen. Okay, fair enough. I'm just simply saying, as someone like myself who went to church a lot as a juvenile, aspired to be a pastor when I became an adult, was in Bible school during the summers and things like that, straight Christian Baptist. I don't understand, now that I've gained a little bit of intelligence and look at this shit, I don't understand why they kept following that religion. These people did not have, the folks who taught you that religion that you did not know when you came here, obviously did not have your best interest at heart. Why would you keep their religion? The one they're using that says it's okay to beat you as a slave, why would you keep that? That's not in your best interest. I don't understand it. You think, regardless of how you feel about God or whatever deity there is, you think a God sees you as less than other people? Because they're using this religion to say it does. And by the way, I talked to somebody, a guy who's a senior citizen, got into a debate with somebody in person who told me that about a month ago, that God created something. He was like, I don't mean to what was the word he used? I don't mean to be harsh or something like that. He said, but God created some people to be servants and others to be superior. I mean, he was telling me that to my face. We were in person saying that. Because I was telling him, and I told him, I was like, that's why a lot of us don't want shit to do with that religion. Why would you worship somebody who treated you to be basically trash? And he kind of looked at me wide-eyed. I was like, why would I want to follow that? So that means the whole time I'm on the planet, I got to be subservient to someone else, and I get to go to heaven and hang out with them? And that makes sense to you? And he kind of laughed. Like, if that's the case, then I don't even want to go. I don't even want to go where y'all going to go after we pass away. Anyway, looking in the comments, inflation, bro, because the money supply because the money supply expanded, because we need liquidity in order. Okay, you guys are talking amongst each other. They went to church on Sunday, then came home to whoop on the slaves. Yeah, even the Klan was burning crosses. I mean, they're all Christian. Most of the hate groups throughout American history, at least the ones that did not like people of color, all of them are Christian. Most of them are God-fearing Christians. I don't understand why they kept that religion. That's just my opinion. Like this, the people who are practicing this do not have your best interest at heart. They never had your best interest at heart. And somehow they've convinced you that this is religion. It just seems weird to me. Looking in the comments real quick though, Christ looks exactly like you want him to, and he loves you unconditionally. And I remember coming up, the church I went to, we had a really big thing of Jesus on behind the pulpit where the choir would sing and all that stuff. And it was a white, blue-eyed guy. And my church was all black, and he had a big ass. I don't know. This thing had to be probably 30 foot tall. White, blue-eyed Jesus. I mean, that's who we thought Jesus looked like growing up. That's who you were told he looked like. If you bought you can buy the little children's books that interpret the Bible. White, blue-eyed dude in there. So that's what people were taught. But then when you look into it now, as an educated adult, you look at the region where this happened at and all of that. That person would not have been very white in that region. It just doesn't make any sense now, but that's what we were told. What do you think about Trump withholding federal relief funds for businesses and cities who boycott Israel? I don't like it. I don't like the revenge play of President Trump. I just talked about earlier him imposing tariffs on Brazil because he doesn't like them trying to bring a former chief or a former president to justice. He talking about imposing tariffs on Canada because they're going to recognize a Palestinian state. Tariffs should not be used as revenge because it's literally like picking up you and using you as a bat to beat his enemy with. It's going to hurt you. It's literally like grabbing you by the ankles and swinging you around as a bat, as a weapon to beat an enemy with. When you use tariffs as a weapon, you're hurting American people with that. You're using us as a weapon because terrorists are going to hurt us too. And that's a whole nother video, but it does seem like the Trump administration is trying to suggest somehow that tariffs will not be passed down to American consumers, even though all of the financial analysts are telling them otherwise. In fact, I'm watching a clip from Brian Kilmeade before I went on live here, and he didn't like an analyst on Fox News telling him, we pay for those tariffs. There's only two options. Either the American citizen, the American consumer are going to pay these tariffs, or the corporations are going to eat them. And look, the latter is not likely to happen. Corporations are in the game to make money. If all of a sudden it charges them more to bring a product to you, they're going to charge you more to purchase that product. I don't know why they believe that so many corporations are going to eat tariffs. That's just not fucking going to happen. But it hasn't happened yet. And that ain't true. That's not true. Some of it has happened. Some of it has started happening. There's a reason why prices have not went down under President Trump. Remember, he promised under him grocery prices would go down rather quickly. That ain't happened. You ain't seen that happening. I know you can research this, your argument that a Harvard professor said it doesn't make it true. That argument by authority. Look, it ain't that a Harvard professor said that the consumer eats the tariffs. It's virtually everybody saying it. Virtually everybody. It's virtually all of the financial analysts that are saying that if we impose tariffs on a country and they impose tariffs back in retaliation, the consumer is the one that's going to get fucked. It's not coming from just a Harvard professor. It's coming from everybody. I haven't heard many people at all suggest that. I mean, if the price of the stuff go up, somebody's got to pay it. If we impose tariffs on a foreign country, and they impose retaliatory tariffs on us, which most countries are doing, that means the products that are coming here are going to cost more. Only one or two options. Either the companies bringing the products here are going to eat that tariff, or they're going to pass that tariff, or at least a percentage of it, on to the person that's buying it, which is you and me. It's the only options involved in it. That's it. So even if the corporations eat the tariffs, then they're going to pass it on down to their employees. You don't get raises as quick. Your benefits are not as good. One way or another, the American citizen is going to suffer the tariffs. I mean, if I have a corporation where I purchase widgets from Canada, and Canada, in anger against Trump, charges more tariffs on the widgets I'm purchasing, and I decide to continue keeping my customer base, we're going to eat the tariffs on the widgets. So we're going to sell the widgets at the same price. We'll just pay Canada extra, and it'll come out of our profits. Well, then that means my employees are going to suffer. They're going to get paid less. I might have to get rid of some of them. Now, when it's time to negotiate for healthcare costs, they're going to get cheaper plans. I mean, one way or another, American citizens are going to pay for that. I mean, unless you just think a few CEOs are going to eat all this by themselves. I mean, it's guaranteed we're going to pay for it. Nope, the option is built in the U.S. What you're saying is crazy there, Coward. You just think we're going to impose tariffs on countries. They're going to impose tariffs back on us, and nobody's going to suffer. Everything's going to cost more, and it's not going to affect anybody. How does that make sense to you? I mean, look, you can favor Trump over any liberal. I get that, but you can only defend him to the point where it starts to sound crazy. How does that make sense to you? It's all built in. Built into what? That makes no sense at all. Built into what? How soon will we be building rubber in the United States? How soon will we be building lithium in the United States? Well, you don't build lithium or rubber, but the thing about it is, I said this earlier in the live stream, with Trump being so volatile, I don't know how to give you a decent answer to that. I mean, let's say you're mining lithium in Nigeria or somewhere in a third world country where you're paying the employees peanuts to mine lithium or rubber or whatever the case may be. Trump starts talking about tariffs and he wants you to bring that home and I guess mine lithium in America. I don't know how much lithium we have in this country to mine to begin with, but in regards to any business, you want to adhere to the threats of Trump and you want to bring those jobs back to America, as Trump is suggesting that's the reason why the tariffs are. Would you readily do that with Trump making all of these rash decisions on a whim? You just don't know. Somebody from your company may be caught on social media or caught on The View or some liberal program saying something negative about him. And he may just impose higher tariffs to hurt your industry because he don't like the person you got working for him. Do you really want to make million, if not billion-dollar decisions based on somebody who does stuff like that? And obviously he does stuff like that. Do you really want to risk your business making moves when this guy may change strategy overnight? That's a big risk to take. Yeah, we want to bring manufacturing jobs home, but you're talking to a guy that's going to give you no concrete promises that you can trust to remain concrete. If he tells you something and decides to break that promise tomorrow, what you going to do about it? There's nobody going to enforce anything against him. You just fucked. So my guess is the corporations are probably going to try to ride Trump out. If it costs a little bit more to do business via his tariffs, we'll just eat the loss on the tariffs and pass that on to the consumer or whatever, as opposed to risking billions of dollars to move manufacturing back to America, hoping that he don't do something radical. Or, because it takes time to move manufacturing back, it could take years to build plants and things like that. What happens if you move it all back and then a liberal gets in there and removes Trump's tariffs? Now all of a sudden you got manufacturing back in America when you actually have access to all the cheap labor that you vacated because of him. He's only got maybe three and a little bit less than 3.5 years left. It's going to take you longer than that to move all the manufacturing back. So you may get somebody else in there after Trump that tries to make him. Remember Obama got elected and he went on what they refer to as an apology tour, where he went around apologizing for the wrongs of America to a lot of Muslim countries. What if you get a guy like that in there after Trump? That guy's going to get rid of all those tariffs. He's going to get rid of all of those. So you don't move your manufacturing back, and all of a sudden, all that cheap labor that you used to enjoy is available again. I'd suggest waiting the 3 years and trying to wait Trump out. I would more suggest try to get on his good side. Should donate a few bucks to him or whatever the case you got to be, and maybe he'll keep the tariffs a little. I mean, because he can be bribed. There's no denying that guy can be bribed. Period. He can be bribed, whether it is schmoozing or actual cash. I'd suggest doing that, as opposed to moving a bunch of shit around that's going to cost you a ton of money, hoping that he does not break his promise. Looking in the comments, Trump ain't shit, says Will G. Says American-made businesses are going to feel the fire once they realize their pockets are really important. Damn. You can't skip tariffs just by slapping the American flag on a box. I don't see it. I agree with you, Will. I do not see the notion that somehow you're going to impose tariffs on damn near the whole world and it's not going to affect Americans. It's not going to affect Americans. I don't see that. In fact, no analyst, no financial analyst is saying that. I don't see that. Most countries are doing side deals outside of the U.S. to other countries. Yeah. I mean, it's going to affect us one way or another. Some countries are going to, as you mentioned, doing side deals. Well, fuck it. If you're going to impose a tariff, this other country sells what you sell, and I can buy it from them for cheaper. Now that your tariffs are there, it's actually cheaper to get it from over here now. So that could be a permanent relationship that's lost, that may not come back even after Trump is gone. Some of the stuff he is doing is likely creating relationships that are going to affect us after he is gone. Permanent loss of business. If some of these European nations suggest, okay, well, he's threatening to pull out of NATO, we need to start building our own weapons and protecting our, I mean, okay, then that means you're causing permanent relationships to develop that are going to affect us for years to come. Maybe they don't buy as many weapons from us anymore. Maybe they start doing their own thing. All of that can happen. They need Americans to sell their items to genius. I don't know why people think America is so high and mighty, there's nothing. Look, I get that they need Americans to sell some of their items to. I'm not denying that. But we have needs too. I don't know why people have this mindset that we're so high up we can just say fuck everybody else and that there will be no consequences for that. They can band together and actually make us feel it. I mentioned Canada. The Canadians not coming to this country. They're making the tourism industry feel it. Look, the United States has taken control of the world. We've been a world leader for 70 plus years, but empires do fall. Empires can fall. Don't get so fucking conceited that you just think you can treat people like shit and they ain't got nowhere else to go. You're right. We should ball out of all the time and just bring Biden and Kamala back. Okay, I don't know where Biden is gone, and Kamala Harris is not going to ever be able to pull it off, in my opinion. You cannot serve God and money. You're not an American Christian, because American Christians are capitalists. They're serving God and money. Yes, other countries are making deals with I saw that already. Why we are refusing to make deals. Yeah, I don't know why people don't see this stuff. It's just having a really, really narcissistic, conceited attitude that America's so high and mighty that we don't need anybody and we can say fuck everybody else. This narcissistic, conceited attitude, where the hell might that be coming from? I don't get that. Just look at Brazil. They don't even trade with American money. Well, I think Trump is starting to show some folks it might be a good idea to have a backup plan. I really believe that's what he's kind of letting the world know. Like, certainly when you get in there, and Trump has gotten in there the first time, he got rid of the Iran deal, claiming it was a useless deal. He obviously broke the Paris Accord. He didn't like shit. He didn't like NAFTA. What else has he gotten rid of? He's threatening to get out of NATO. I mean, the problem becomes, why would you make a deal in the future with the United States when Trump has shown you that the next president can just break the shit? The word of America is no good. Even if you favor Trump getting out of those deals, because you don't think the deal was good for America, it makes our word look like trash. I mean, Obama makes a deal with Iran. Trump comes along. It's a dumb deal. I'm just breaking it. Then okay, you make a deal with Trump. What's saying the next guy after him doesn't just break that deal? That's what. If I'm Iran, I'm asking any president, why would I make a deal with you when you've shown the next guy can just break it? You didn't have any respect for the fact that we made a deal with the previous president before you at all. How do I know that the next guy won't view the deal I'm making with you the same way? He really proved that the word of America is useless. That is something that should not have been celebrated. Even if you think Obama made bad deals, your word is your bond. Figure out a way to get Iran to make a new deal without breaking the word of the United States, because other countries saw that too. It ain't just you broke a deal with Iran that was bad. All the other nations saw that shit. So it makes America look like it does not follow through. Pay them a little bit more, talk to them behind the scenes, whatever you got to do to make Iran speak and say that they officially are okay with getting out of the deal. But you don't just break it. It really makes America's word look like shit. And I'm really surprised that MAGA, yeah, it's a bad deal, let's just break it. Okay. As we both predicted, even if the products are American made, do you really think the businesses are going to sell cheaper for the benefit of the consumer? No, fuck no. No, they will match that tariff for the cat. Yeah, businesses are in the game to make money. That's why I don't believe you're going to have a lot of businesses eating tariffs or doing any of that shit. If it costs a business more money to bring that product on the shelf to you, they're going to charge you more money to buy it off the shelf. And the business is probably going to tack on a little bit more for themselves. If all of a sudden Trump imposes a 10% tariff, they may charge you 12% for the actual product. Fuck it, this is an excuse to make more money. Same thing they did when it came to COVID and price gouging. Okay, we got to charge a little bit more because it's hard to get products and things are closed during the pandemic. They used to paying 10%, charge them 11.5. And they're going to find ways to get more out of it, not less, not less. So yeah, I believe that corporations are going to gouge. I do believe that. They already haven't you noticed the free shipping has left? Has Amazon cut that out? Because I get a lot of shit from Amazon. Has Amazon got rid of free shipping? I didn't know that. If so, I mean, I just ordered a remote control helicopter the other day on Amazon. Oh, Walmart. I don't get a lot of shit shipped from Walmart. I get almost all my stuff from Amazon, so I don't do a lot with Walmart. And like I like drones, you know, like DJI drones. From what I hear, that because of the Chinese, DJI drones are getting banned. It's getting a little harder to get some shit. Historically known, especially with the leaders of the world, that war makes money. Yeah, I agree with that. Do we make money after World War II? No argument with the war making money. No argument there. I don't. It also makes dead people too, though. The way the world market is set up. It's beginning after World War II. We gave everyone a pass. We were so far ahead, we could afford to do it. Then things have changed. Yeah, it's changed a lot. Anyhow, folks, I do appreciate the low light. We didn't get as many today. I didn't ask you folks to tap the screen. What the hell are we looking at? 60. We should have been around 90. You guys are lazy on the thumbs. I guess the program was depressing tonight. Nevertheless, it does look like, as we discussed, that the midterms for 2026 are in the process of being rigged. At least that's my opinion. And also, as we talked about, I don't see how there is any question in regards to Trump's job numbers. I mean, we talked about that as well when him suggesting that the jobs numbers that were presented were rigged and things like. I don't know why he would think his job numbers would be anything other than dismal. All he's been talking about doing is firing people. USAID, federal employees, the tourism market. You're getting rid of TPS. You're getting rid of asylum seekers that are all here working legally. People are getting fired everywhere. So you get bad jobs numbers and you're shocked? Not one industry since Trump became president is bragging about how many people they're hiring. Now they're talking about doing it in the future, bringing manufacturing back in. That may happen. We can talk about that. But it hasn't happened during his first 7 months. Everything about his first 7 months would suggest he is going to have horrible job numbers. So why would he think that the job numbers are rigged? I just don't understand that. Not one industry other than maybe ICE has been hiring since Trump became president. Everybody else is getting fired. And you think your job numbers aren't should not be that bad? You think you actually putting on that many new jobs? Based on what? The tariff money is going to go straight to Trump and his buddies' pockets. Damn. As they make a Venmo account for Americans to freely donate to the debt. I don't know why any American would donate to the national debt. That's fucking stupid. But they did talk about that. Who the hell would donate money to America's national debt? In a country that does not even want to give you food stamps or unemployment if you fall on your face, the nerve to ask you to donate money to the national debt is laughable. You can keep that shit. I could be a trillionaire and I wouldn't do anything about that. I'd rather donate money to the individual person. There's no fucking way I'm going to give money to the same people that ran up all of that debt to begin with. No fucking way. That's crazy. But yeah, they did have people talking about giving money, donating money. I can't even speak on it. It's so insane. I donate all the time as long as they're not. Oh my God. Who said that? Political tard says I donate all the time as long as they're not Jewish or black. That's not racist at all. Okay. All right. I know we made money. I know we made money. We're so far ahead. We had tariffs on our goods, but imposed none to very little on us. Here's the problem with this, making money. The tariffs are making money, or when Doge is firing people, it's saving us a ton of money. If you can't personally see that money, how do you know it's actually happening? If Trump says he's saving billions of dollars by getting rid of waste, fraud, and abuse in the federal government, and you have no way at all of seeing that money, you're not seeing projects being built, you're not seeing anything, how do you know that's actually happening? I mean, it's his job to give you good news about his administration. But if it doesn't translate to anything that affects you or the average American, how do you know it's actually even happening? He can tell you any damn thing. We fire, like for instance, in the federal government, they're making it sound like everybody they fired was not necessary. We didn't need them. They were wasted. How do you know that's true? He can tell you anything. When they say they raised 100, okay. Social Security is only out the window if Republicans end it. Social Security is fully funded for at least another decade. Well, there's no control over people taking it and using it for other shit either. You just never know what they may do. But yeah, I agree with you, King Fan. We'll never see that money. I mean, they're bragging about all this money. Even with the tariffs, I don't think the tariffs are going to go anywhere near like how they're telling us. But even if it does turn out positive, it's not going to affect you. And there's nobody going to pretend like tariffs are going to bring down the cost of goods and services. You're not going to see it at all. So most of the stuff that he's bragging about, it ain't going to affect you. If the stock market goes berserk, you'll see some of your retirement savings or something benefit. But in the short term, buying groceries and shit we're not seeing any of that. It's just him giving you a bunch of good news that doesn't really culminate to anything. Like Biden was saying the economy was doing all great and shit. And people looking at Biden like, I'm not seeing it. I'm just hearing it from you. Well, we just got to put Trump in there and the same thing is happening right now. So far, we need more Social Security because the stock market is not doing well. I don't see how the stock market is going to be doing well reliably when Trump is making so many decisions you cannot rely on staying the same. I don't see how the stock market continues to prosper when he's so volatile like that. I don't see how that works. I mean, whatever decision he makes today, he may totally change it and do the opposite tomorrow. Promise you tariffs, suspend tariffs, change the amount of the tariffs. Some tariffs are going away, some tariffs are doubling and tripling. How can you invest based on that? We'll get on YouTube and watch all the videos of people crying before they were cut off. That is going to happen. That is likely going to happen. So, anyhow, folks, it is that time. I appreciate the 62,000 likes. You know how the program is ran. We are MAGA. For didn't get any MAGA tonight. Got plenty of you folks in the comments. Thank you for speaking. But in terms of callers, MAGA's a little hesitant because right now things are critical of Trump. He is in the White House. Not going to really be banging Biden or Kamala. They're irrelevant right now, which I know MAGA would prefer we be criticized, we continue criticizing Biden or, keep criticizing Biden for not releasing the Epstein list and, speak less on Trump. That's not relevant to what's going on. But I understand MAGA would prefer that. Nevertheless, thank you for the likes, the 62,000 likes. If you do favor this type of communication, all sides are welcome to speak. We don't block, ban, or censor. Feel free to follow the program if you're watching on Clapper, TikTok. We're not on Instagram tonight, but follow if you're watching on TikTok or Clapper, and give your boy a sub if you're watching on YouTube. Real quick before we wrap it up, make sure I didn't miss any. I don't know what I'm hitting there. Rich people got enough money to wait 4 years. Yeah, that's what I said. If you got wealth, I would ride it out. If I got a corporation, I would ride it out as opposed to bringing manufacturing back. I would ride it out because the next politician, even if it's another conservative, is probably not going to be as radical as Trump. I don't think Ron DeSantis or Nikki Haley or who else ran that had a strong following. I don't think Vivek Ramaswamy would have did all of that shit with those tariffs. I don't think any of them would do that. So I waited out 3 years, and even if you get a conservative, chances are they're going to undo a lot of Trump's tariffs. And thank you, appreciate the hat there, Archangel. Thank you very much. But yeah, whoever follows Trump, my guess is they'll be a lot more consistent. There'll probably be a lot less petty. They're not going to change tariffs based on you call them a name or I don't like the way you spoke about me in the media. They're not going to act like that. So I would wait it out. If I'm running a business, I would rather wait it out and pay the tariff for 3 years or make whatever changes I could and just try to wait him out. MAGA is trying to find an out between saying the libs were right, OTLR support, I don't know what that means, but I do see you said support of a pedophile, or hope to God his name gets scrubbed to act like nothing ever happened. I don't think Trump's going to ever be able to live down the Epstein stuff, even though MAGA may give him a pass. But look, my stance on Trump with the Epstein stuff is you've been way too inconsistent to be believable. We can talk about why Biden didn't release the list, but at least Biden didn't give you all sorts of information that was flipping all over the damn place. I'm going to release the list. The list doesn't exist. The list is on my desk. It's actually a Democratic hoax. I've asked the grand jury to release. I've told Congress, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? I mean, you're all over the place with this shit. Either there's a damn list and you have it or you don't. What is all of this shit? To the point where he's been so inconsistent that people are actually saying, well, if we can't get it from the president, I would rather actually hear from the pedophile. People are actually preferring to hear from Ghislaine Maxwell than Trump now because he's been all over the map with this shit. No one should want to hear from Ghislaine. No one should want to hear from her. Trump should have released a list. We would know who was on it. We could go from there. Nobody should be asking to hear from her. He's been so inconsistent. People are like, well, fuck it. I'd rather hear from the pedo. I mean, that is insane. And then, of course, Trump would he pardon Ghislaine? Well, I haven't thought about it. I can do it. They asked him and he gave that answer about a serial pedo, but he suggested that he couldn't really pardon P. Diddy because he spoke negatively of him during the campaign. So P. Diddy said some shit you didn't like when you were campaigning for president, and that disqualifies him. But this chick who don't abuse God knows how many children, well, I really haven't thought about it. I can't. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Speaking negatively about you during the campaign, disqualified. Abusing a bunch of children, well, I haven't thought about it. I can. And then you put her in a camp, greatly improving the quality of her life. MAGA ain't really saying a lot about that. MAGA ain't saying a lot about that. And I see in the comments, what is it? It says your thinking is flawed. Let me know what my thinking is flawed on that. Let me know how it makes sense to feel fairly confident you can't pardon P. Diddy, but you're up in the air about pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell. Somebody let me know how flawed my thinking is on that. Are you kidding? Things would get instantly better if he left office right now. Well, MAGA love is strong. Hold on. There's enough for us all. You're getting tired of winning yet. The golden age is here and it's just starting to get moving. What have you seen to make you feel confident the golden age is here? I think the golden age is here because you believe what you're being told. I don't think you have anything tangible to actually define that. I think, look, if he tells you America's making trillions of dollars more than it used to under Biden, sounds great. You're not seeing none of it. You don't have no evidence that that's happening. The golden age is here, not because of what you're seeing, but it's because of what you're being told. And you don't have any evidence that what you're being told is actually accurate. It's as simple as that. You have no evidence at all that any of that stuff is accurate. You're a patriot, sir. Keep it up. I like that. Appreciate that, good boy Prime. Holler at you. He's talking about taking away rights. I hope Trump doesn't take away any rights, but yeah, he has talked about taking away rights. I think we're past the point of saying he ain't talking about taking away rights. I mean, he talked about taking away Rosie O'Donnell's citizenship. The girl doesn't have any criminal history at all. Why the hell would you take her citizenship away? Well, she said something bad about me. This is the same shit with the tariffs. This is the same shit with a lot of things. Well, you said something bad. Same thing about P. Diddy. I can't pardon you. I mean, like, what the hell? Is that all it takes is to say something bad about the man and suddenly, I don't know. You said he's taking away rights already. Like what? Real quick before we, ain't that what he did on his reality show? I don't know what that means. Anyhow, I do gotta step away. Thank you, folks, for those who have tapped the screen. You know what time it is. If you enjoy this type of dialogue, I'm gonna ask one more time. Give me a follow if you're watching on Clapper or Instagram, or better yet, we're on Instagram too, but TikTok. And if you're watching on YouTube, follow the program. We're generally here Monday through Friday. You folks have a good night. Stay safe, and we'll catch it up tomorrow. It's your boy Tim.